Hello and welcome to Edge of Empire, a Horus Heresy podcast. Would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? This is episode 1 of our 9th year, and we're finally catching up to the kids. And we're now doing video content. We've tried a little bit now. We're getting it sort of a bit more. We'll be doing TikTok videos before you know it. Mr. B does an incredible floss dance. And once you've seen it, no one will ever compete with it.
We just need a Fleetwood Mac overlay, and we'll be viral before you know it.
Exactly. And so that's changed for us to be viral as opposed to virulent. So my name,
partly Paul Seafront doing the floss dance.
That's it. If we get enough YouTube subscribers, then we'll make that happen, and we'll make him dressed as Dolly Parton while doing it. So there we go. There's a guarantee for you, ladies and gentlemen.
My word.
Sold out event finally. Years.
This is your first time watching, listening to us. My name is Chris. Joining me are two of my absolute favorite people on the planet. My wonderful brother Graham.
I was going to say, will they be coming later?
Well, we'll see if they turn up. Invites are sent out.
In the meantime,
but the Royal Mail, you know how it is these days.
Yeah.
So my wonderful brother Graham and the furry man Peach that is Mr. Michael Bottrell.
Hello there.
Professional Dolly Parton impersonator.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what's on this evening's agenda before we start chin wagging amongst ourselves?
Yes.
So we have got the usual things, which are new releases, what we've been up to, games played. I know the chaps have been up to some shenanigans. State of the Union is looking fairly filled out, which is always good. It means exciting things happening in our world. We're going to go through our 2025 plans, resolutions, and we're going to go through some a small question from the audience, and then we're going to do our 2025 proposed lists for when we were playing games and putting those into our always popular and always controversial list challenge segment at the end of the show.
Brilliant.
So that all sounds very exciting. So chaps, how are we? January is with us. We're into the new year, quarter of the way into the century, which is terrifying.
It is.
Way to cheer me up.
I know, right? I just thought, just drop it in there. Yeah, 2025. Yeah, the Millennium Bug was 25 years ago.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. Very relaxing. Nothing spectacular, really. Didn't get as much done as I would have liked for some bizarre reason, but that's all good. Watch some.
Is that because of the 11,000 hours of PS5 you've racked up?
Yeah, do you know what? That was somewhat worrying, wasn't it?
How did you manage that?
Well, very little sleep, I have to say. So, for those of you who are not familiar, I shared at the end of the year, I did my yearly roundup thing that you get from PlayStation, and realised that the number of hours that I spent on my PlayStation over the course of 2024 was over 1,000, I believe, which is not bad going. But in my defence,
not bad going, he said.
It's kind of my
in 25 games.
Okay, now hang on. No. Hang on. He's made a claim there, Mr. B, that I think we should definitely address. It's my job.
Yes.
Do remember.
I mean,
how many of those hours do we think, honestly and realistically, were spent on work-related projects?
Well, it's
other than market research.
It is market research.
Speech bubbles.
Market research.
Speech marks either side.
I mean, to be fair, obviously it wasn't like I was actually getting paid to play them. So this was basically me playing these games when the wife went to bed or was busy doing something else. So, I was kind of like living two lives here. I'm like Clark Kent. One of, or maybe even Mr. Anderson from The Matrix. One of these lives is a programmer by day. By night, you go by the hacker alias Neo, or in my case, the PlayStation 5 alias Leon Bayonne Grey, I think.
That's it.
But
Now
of course,
you're going to get
bear in mind,
all
I've
the
only tried
invites.
Xbox, so that doesn't actually really,
No.
give a full accounting of my shenanigans.
Plus the hours that we've spent on Hell Let Loose, Space Marine 2.
And Hell Let Loose as well. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair rack. So, yeah, it was a... Do you know what the game I spent the most time on? Weirdly, Fallout 4, the remastered version of that.
Fair enough.
Nice.
And it was 160 hours I spent on that game.
I first played Hell Let Loose in October, and according to my Steam replay, it's 41% of my playtime this year.
There you go.
There you go. Well, we rack up, 4 or 5 hours on a Monday.
Yeah.
And plus whenever else we can sneak in a few games. So
yeah, I mean, maybe we'll stream that one day if people want a real experience.
I did sneak in a game the other day, and I don't know what was going on, but there was a bit of a glitch. I flew a flipping grenade in the air, and it bounced straight back in midair and blew me up. Got an achievement, so I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy with that."
But I just want to bring to your attention, Graham. There are 8,760 hours in a year. I just want to bring that to your attention right now. You spent an eighth of your year playing on singularly your PlayStation.
I should get a special award from PlayStation for that.
I don't think you should get an award. I think an intervention might be better suited than
wow. Okay, fair enough. The rest of the time was sleeping or lack of sleep.
Okay, so that's this. Okay, so 1,000 hours on the PlayStation. Okay, so we assume 6 hours a night sleep.
About that. That seems to be my normal.
Yeah,
7 hours sometimes.
So that's 2,190 hours of sleep. So
basically, what you're saying is I spent 50% of my sleep time playing. Okay, can we move on? Because I'm starting to feel bad about
How about we go into the new releases?
Let's do that.
Go. Let's talk about the toy model.
To press, so I press a button and it'll do the thing automatically. Okay, brilliant. Right, new releases. Okay. Few interesting new releases this month, so I'll just pull them. Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay, there we go.
Was that a few or few as in not many?
There's not many, but
okay,
some of them are gone now. But we'll start off with Kill Team Volcus. It's Killzone Volcus. It's terrain. It's actually quite nice terrain. £82.50 or £70.12 Element Games. It's not bad. It's designed for Kill Team. It's actually that form a decent call. A couple of them.
Once upon a time, this was a Sector Mechanicum set, wasn't it? Let's be honest, or a Sector. No,
this is all new stuff.
Is it all new stuff? Really? It looks exactly the same as everything else they've ever.
Look at those lovely cesspits. The sewage containers they've got on the back wall there. That's nice. Little water drums. Okay, well.
Yeah, it is all brand new stuff, but it's very similar.
It is very similar. It's very, very similar. I do quite like them. They've put the sort of some thought into, having models on the first floor.
Yeah.
Which I quite like. They look like some good places to sort of hide behind some cover there, which look cool. But 80 quid for that? What's that? 5 bits of scenery, 6 bits of scenery, and some scatter terrain?
Well, it's going to get worse for that. Anyway.
Isn't it?
Next up, we've got some Legion Imperialis stuff. We've got the Civitas Imperialis Elevated Plaza, £42.50. It's basically just a couple of tiles with slightly different layouts of the standard stuff.
Christ, that's dull. Even by GW
how big is that? £42.50.
I think the paint scheme doesn't help it.
Is it like is it like 4x4 that whole
12
thing?
by 12.
12 by 12.
And it's 42 quid
for two of them.
For two of them.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's all right then. Blimey. Okay, right, fair enough.
Something a bit more exciting: the Legion Imperialis Stalker constructs. 31.
Yeah, they are pretty cool, aren't they?
2678. So this is the first.
I hope they make these in
stuff.
Yeah, I hope they make these in proper scale. Or proper scale, big
No,
scale.
you don't. And I'll tell you why you don't.
Go on.
Because you're going to hate putting those legs on.
You're not wrong, actually. I'm looking at them.
I
I did wonder, I don't know what you think, whether... Do you reckon... I haven't seen the models, and I don't really get an impression of the scale, but are they too small to proxy as blood slaughterers, do you reckon?
Oh,
I don't know how big they are, those bases.
Yeah, you can use those for in...
No, they're way too
No, you
small,
couldn't.
these
They're too
particular
small.
ones, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Fair enough.
If you're doing babies blood slaughterers...
Yes. The sort of swarm of baby blood slaughterers. That
Yeah.
I'm
that'd
going
be
to
quite
forward
cool.
you in the chat a picture that a friend sent me of his one, Stuart. I think you know Stuart.
Talking of swarms, have you just... I'm going to instantly tangent here. Have you guys seen Alien Romulus?
No.
Okay. A swarm of face huggers is a terrifying thing.
That is terrifying.
And that's... Yeah.
Okay.
What am I observing here? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they're not massive, are they? They're relatively dinky.
Yeah, they're not that big. Okay, so next up we have the Seraphos Overlord Heavy Stalkers, and these are sort of like sort of Warlord Titan. Sorry, not Warlord, Warhound Titan type of.
So they might be Bloodslaughter-esque.
I'm just trying to think what.
Great. Are you just trying to find a model to replicate?
I am, because it's cheaper than Blood.
What base size are they? They are on 60mm bases.
Oh, that might work then.
So
because Bloodslaughterers aren't massive. Okay, well, something to think about. I'm doing a Mr. B here and sort of shoehorning stuff into the game.
3150 or 2678, and they also
is that for one?
For four.
No.
And they also come with data cards for Adeptus Titanicus.
Okay, gotcha.
Use them in Adeptus.
So they are pretty big. Nice, they look pretty cool.
But if they're Warhound Titan size in Titanicus,
yeah,
they're going to still be fairly diddy.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't know.
The Warhound is the smallest of those Titans.
I don't think Bloodslaughterers are massive, but you're right. They may lack the volume that you would expect from the model. All right, cool.
Right, then we've got Thanatars. You can get a pack.
They look so cute, don't they? Like they look like they're like, oh, we've just got out of bed in our pajamas.
Yeah.
So for those of you at home watching, this is the what is it? Well, these are the Thanatars. Right?
Yeah, Siege Automaton.
They look a bit like Teletubbies, I think, like that. They look like, hey, it's a gang of them.
I guess
they're little kids in their winter coats, aren't they? That's what they are.
They look
just all wrapped up. Nice and snug.
See that. Yeah. Next, we had a short story, Anathema, about Janita Kroll.
Okay.
It was actually not too bad a story. Really quite good.
I
think it was $1.99. It was like 25-minute read. It's not bad.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
Next up, stuff. Some made to order scenery, which is no longer available. We'll just sort of mention it. We got the Basilicanum, that was £71.50. So put the £82.50 building here. Then the Sexta Imperialis Sanctum, £50.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
The Imperial Sector, which was £100 for 3 buildings. Actually, some of them are fairly big. So
yeah, they look pretty funky.
And the Manufactorum, which is £50.
Okay, I like the Imperial Sector and the Sanctum, the Basilica rather. That looks very good.
Yeah. It is actually not a bad piece of scenery, but it's quite a bit more expensive than when it first came out. So,
oh right, okay, fair enough.
And these were made to order, so could get a discount. Next up, we've got some Imperialis, the Mechanicum Battle Automata.
Oh yeah.
So that's from.
You say automata, I say automata.
Yes.
£31.50. You got your what are they again? The Castlexes.
There are Artalaxes, aren't they? Those ones with the jump ups.
Artalaxes, I think. No, I don't think they're Artalaxes. They are. They're not Artalaxes. I don't think they are. They are. Where are they?
They are.
Oh no, they are Artalaxes. Yeah. 2 Dominators and 2 Artalaxes. Sorry, I thought the Artalaxes. No, I'm thinking of the Ursarax.
You are. Yes. All right, cool. Weirdly, I think the models. Well, I guess it's like strange perspective, but the murder bees aren't that big.
No, they're not.
You know, they're small. And Thanatars are massive.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to have a look at them. I'm not massively. I mean, they do look quite cool, but I don't think I would be hugely drawn to doing a Mechanicum Legion Imperialis list, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. Then we've got the Mechanicum Infantry. So there we go. Saraxes, I think.
Yeah. Are there Ursaraxes? They've got Castellaxes. Ursarax is there with the jetpacks on the bottom. Yes.
Myrmidon, not Myrmidon. Yeah.
Yeah, they are Myrmidons there at the bottom.
Yeah. And what
Right, cool.
the not Anatars, I forget what they're called.
You've got Myrmidons, you've got Thalax, you've got
Phalanx, that's what I was thinking of. Tech Thralls.
and some Tech Thralls, as well as Archmagus on an Abeyant by the looks of things, and just some other Magi who fin a boot doing their thing.
Final bit of Imperialis, the Triara Squadron. So 4 Triara.
They look like they're a pain to put together at that scale. They're not going to be like two halves and just glue them together, are they? They're going to be fiddly.
When have you ever known games where actually take the sandwich approach to
here's one side, here's one side, glue it together, job done.
Do they have a picture of the sprue? No, they do not have a picture of the sprue. So
for good reason, one I suspect.
Let's have a look. Does it say how many parts they're in?
About 1,000.
80 parts.
What, per one? Was that 20 each?
20 each.
20's a lot. I mean, yeah. Why do they do it?
That's nice. Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. And then final release.
Test your resolve. That's
final
why.
release of this month is the Primarchs collection. Visions of Glory and Despair. 85 quid for all these A3 posters.
A3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, from the ones that I can see there, they look a little bit boy bandish.
They do look a bit boy bandish.
They're from the collector's editions of what's the word I'm looking for? The Siege of Terror books.
I mean, old Gilliman is giving his best Homelander.
Do you know it's exactly what I was thinking?
I've got 2 Horuses in there because there's 20. So there's got you got the Emperor as well, who's in there somewhere.
Okay. Well, there you go, Chris. You need to buy it straight away. And have him have a picture of in your shrine.
Well, there isn't the important person isn't in the collection, unfortunately. So you've got the Emperor, Lion, Turbo, but he is in the rules. Jagatai, Lehman Ras, Rogodorn, Condor, Sanguinius, Ferris, Angron, Robute, Mortalion, Magnus, Horus, Lupercal, Horus Ascended, Lorgar, Vulcan, Chorus. Yeah, so 2. 1 Emperor and 2 Horuses. Do you think it would be like need.
Could be.
I mean, I think I'm going to give those a pass if that's
not a terrible haul. Not really, actually. Apart from
here's the thing:
is there anything here for actual?
I quite want the sleeves that they're in.
Okay,
because they would be super cool for events to put missions and secret stuff in.
Yeah.
Very good.
We've not had anything specifically for Heresy big scale other than terrain, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. But then again, there's nothing been 40k for months either, so
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I've got a couple of honourable mentions. Again,
hang on. We need to come up with a little theme tune for Mr. B's shoehorn section.
Yeah. Go on. What are you trying to pull now?
All right. So a couple of things that could be interesting for your what's the word I'm looking for? Militia, which apparently I should stop trying to make happen.
You should.
Felgor Ravagers. So
we've told you.
Tempestus Aquilans. So basically jump soldiers. I don't know if militia can have jump soldiers.
Nope.
Death Corps infantry. So I mean
that's okay. But I reckon. What do you reckon to Deathcore as Solar Auxilia? I reckon I wouldn't kick them out of the game.
Oh, you can kick them.
Somebody says, "Here's my Krieg army, but it's Solar Auxilia." I would be all right with that.
I think you could get. I
mean, I know they haven't got the armor of the Solar Auxilia, but they're cool models. I wouldn't have a problem with it. But
I think
I'm not lenient as Mr. B on these things. But I don't know. What do people out there think? Would you go off? No, rivet counting. You can't possibly have them.
Puritanical.
Yeah.
I would probably let them pass. I mean, there's a lot of them now, so at least you can do it if you want to. But I'd probably let the infantry go.
I'd be all right with them. I mean, they wouldn't exactly be cheap anyway, would they? I mean, I suppose actually now that there's plastics, they probably
they are.
To get the Solar Auxilia themselves, to be honest with you.
These might be good as Solar Auxilia. The Imperial Navy Breachers.
they would be very good, actually, looking at that. I mean, they look more the part, don't they?
Yeah, that's
What's
what
the
we're talking.
Robbie the Robot thing at the bottom there? With just what's going on there? Is that a helmet or is that like his brain at the top? I can't really see very well on the picture. I know, it's just how it's painted. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Okay, and these are all £42.50, so probably a bit expensive, I think. For a standard squad of 10, you know. So, Melissa,
Just
also
have interest.
Yep.
Just on the navy breaches.
uh-huh.
The guy on. So does one guy control the robot? Because he's slightly different to.
I think he might be.
Because there's like.
Yeah,
There's slightly more. How can I phrase this politely? Padded out in his armor by the look of it.
oh yeah. He has got like a sort of bomb disposal.
Maybe,
there.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, it could be. All right, good shout.
I think they'd pass quite comfortably.
And then this Saturday, just if you're interested, you've got the Krieg. Oh no, didn't show it. Okay, never mind. You've got the Krieg box set coming, and the Earth. And I'm interested because there's a cannon in there. There's a link in the show notes there, Graham. Can this be used as an Earth shaker? I think not. I think it's a bit too short, but I've seen a lot of people
it's a bit too small
about.
Like for my liking. I mean, you could probably model it and give it a bit of heft. You
Yeah.
could
Whack a-
bit of girth.
whack a Vanquisher cat a barrel on that.
No, probably nice. Yeah. So yeah, not a terrible haul, I suppose, as releases go, but yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, it's all right. So hopefully we'll get some proper Heresy stuff in the next month or so, but gotta wait and see.
We had the preview for the Chappie, didn't we? The
We've had
Overseer.
a few bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Overseer.
Yeah. Overseer got previews and stuff, so he'll be.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, the Sons of Horus looks really good, actually.
Yeah.
All
right. Shall we go into what we've been up to?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Press the button. All right. So, well, what have we been up to? So,
What the hell have we been up to?
yeah, this is sort of like, it's been
That's
a
the
while
question
since
that
we've done
often
this
asked.
section. So, we've got
Okay.
so might have a few things to do. But how about we start with what do we get anything for Christmas?
Did I Bulax?
Fair enough.
I mean,
Chris?
me and Graham have long had an arrangement where we don't buy each other anything because
It was a bit silly because what would happen is that Chris would buy me a Games Workshop voucher or Element Games voucher, and I would buy Chris a Games Workshop or Element Games voucher. So it kind of just it was sort of somewhat the only downside to that arrangement I would say is thus. I don't know about you, but if you say, "Oh, okay, what I'll do is I'll take the money that you would have given me and spend it on something."
Yeah.
But if you haven't got a voucher to prove it, then that money is technically in the collective pot for your household. So it's like, that's why I like a voucher, right? Because it means you've got to spend it on the thing, not just get it absorbed on buying groceries, for example.
So what you're saying is next year we need to do some sort of voucher exchange.
I think we need to, just so that we actually use it for its intended purpose.
I would be up for that.
Excellent. I think we should start with my birthday.
Yeah. Well, okay. You can always retroactively do mine from 3 days ago.
No, it's too late. Next year.
Oh, I see.
All right.
Interesting.
Well,
Very interesting.
I said I wouldn't buy this for myself, but
I knew that when this first came out,
stocking.
I knew it would end up in your house.
It came in my stocking.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew them somehow or another. The clever people at Games Workshop marketing think they must have the Michael Bottrell test, right? They have a meeting in Benton Road there every month. Will Michael buy this? Is it plastic? Yep. Tat.
I don't
Is
know.
it going in the bottom of a drawer from any other sane person? Oh, yes.
He's only got 3,000 of those handles. So he needs something else.
I don't know about this. I mean, it's fine, but it's got lots of little compartments for like mixing and stuff that are different sizes, which is okay, I guess. But it's.
Actually, I mean, that's probably the one thing that
I think the only use I can think of this is a cake mold topper thing.
That would be quite cool. Gingerbread.
Just to whack it into, yeah.
I've not used it yet. I just haven't been able to bring myself to use it yet. But yeah, and
I must admit, though, I have found that when I am mixing paints, I tend to use a lot of paint and then realize actually I only want a little bit of that for this little bit of highlight. So you kind of waste a lot of paint. So
Been there before.
I can kind of see having these little trays there quite useful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And I got some vouchers, so I bought myself a Malcador. And actually ended up buying a second one because I got more.
Because one's never enough, right?
No, one is never enough. So what's my Christmas? All right. What about modeling? Okay. Chris, have you done anything this month?
What?
Well, his gig at Milan was cancelled. I know that. So that was his modeling finished.
That was.
Yeah,
I mean, the problem is Chanel. They're really changing how they're doing their things these days. They've tried to go more body friendly, which is why I got the gig. But
now they've gone the other way.
It's Christmas was a slightly portlier time than anticipated, and regrettably, those kids shirts that I've been modelling, those buttons just do like to ping
a little bit too tight. Yeah, fair
enough. Shall we take a look at what Graham's been doing then?
Go on then. Why not?
I'll bring this on screen. So,
look at them, magnificent. Yeah. So, I wanted to get some bikes for the. So I bought what's this figure? Got it here. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's 40k figure. This lad. Can you see that? No. Woo.
Yep.
Him.
Yes.
So there we go. No. Cameras. It's all around the wrong way. So I got him, and I thought, no, I'll make that a bike, right? Even though it's massive, it's not really modelling for advantage. I don't think. I really like the model. I thought it was super cool. And so I thought I'll have him on a bike, and then I'll have a squad with him, and then realised that you can't take cavalry, i.e., bikes, with anything other than other cavalry. So you can't mix and match. So it's then, shoot, I'm going to have to go and get some bikes. So I went to eBay to get some of these old school bikes. Now, I shared them with our local group, and somebody said I should have shaved off the skull and the
Aquila.
Yeah. I was like, you that's never going to happen. You do realise that, right?
You're not one for getting the Dremel out, are you? That's
not really. Not when I don't really feel it's particularly bad.
It's a bit of a faff on when they're already on the bikes. Exactly
right. They're bikes. They've got the right guns. That's probably good enough for me. So anyway, painted these with Sons of Horus so they can go with my Esoterist, so you can summon demons accompanied by some bikes, which I think will look pretty cool. And I must have, when I actually lined the bikes up, when I bought some bases off eBay for them, because you can't find them anywhere for some reason. They look really cool. Like a squad of 7 bikes looks actually
which base were you looking for? The oval or the pill shape?
Yeah, the oval ones, because I think that's the right shape. Yeah, but I bought some off eBay that were pre-painted. I think they were quite expensive, but they look really good. Okay. So nice. So anyway, so I've got bikes.
You did the Chaos Lord.
Yeah, he was really cool. I really like this figure.
Lord is great.
Yeah, so I wanted obviously maybe to go with my Reavers as HQ. I think he looks really cool. He's a cracking looking model, right? So that was and I quite like painting these 40k models up in Sons of Horus colours. I know that it's not technically correct, and there's all sorts of problems with
by the time they get to the Siege of Terror, this is what they look like.
Yeah, so I'm okay with it. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm quite pleased with him too. I painted him while I was there. So that was it, really. I think that was all I painted.
Oh no!
Decimator. Yeah.
Oh, I've got 4 Decimator pictures here.
Yeah. So I painted my Decimator up. I had some fun with so this is the Green Stuff World color shift.
Yeah.
On the chain. So just for those of you watching in black and white or listening to the podcast, there's some chains on the back of Decimator so I thought it's sort of chaos bound thing. So I've used the color shift paints, the green color shift paint from I think it's a Green Stuff World. It might be green.
Yeah.
And it looks really good. Actually, came out really nicely. So I might use that effect again on pipes and stuff on chaos models, because it just makes them bring some of the color out. But yeah, it's painted in the classic kind of dark Mechanicum dark red, and I used some of the transfers from the Chaos Knight set, which have really got a really cool set of transfers actually. And just like randomly putting them on your models looks like somebody's etched them on. So I've got 2 of these now, which is great.
2 Decimators you got there.
Yeah, the trouble is, as always, I put the legs on wrong, as you can see. So one was about 4 foot shorter than the other. So I then had to improvise on my base which actually came out all right because
Yeah,
I just
that's
used
pretty good. Yeah.
the cable ties on top of a normal base to sort of make it look like it was walking through some, internal smashed through some sort of pipe work or something. So yeah, but it's good fun model. They are great models, but that one looks better because I actually got the legs higher than the other one. Looks a bit squat. So yeah, 2 detomators, which we'll come on to later.
All right, cool. For myself, just press my button. I did a squad of Ultramarines, an assault squad, which I was fairly happy with. 2 power axes, a heavy chainsword on the sergeant.
Okay.
So 10 of those.
Now, is that the new kit? Is it the Assault Marine kit?
Yes. Yeah. But
I've
with some
got some
3D printed bits to I got some barrels. Drum barrels on the bolt pistol.
Oh yes, I noticed that. Okay, nice.
Then I painted 3 Carnodons with all Volkite. So
You love Volkite?
I love a Volkite, and I want 3 of
So-
these to my Solar Auxilia.
Is Volkite the default on those? So like they have the plasma fins.
No, I think the default is multi-lasers. I think.
No, it's the default color for Volkite red or orange.
I thought it was
I went with
blue.
red, but I thought it was blue.
Yeah,
I thought blue was plasma. Was that green?
I think it
Green.
might be all of them.
No, it's blue. It's blue. 'Cause it's definitely blue in Space Marine 2.
Yeah, but
So that would
liked,
imply.
I liked red.
Yeah, I like the red as well. I kind of, when I have painted Volkite like that, I've kind of done it as it's like super heated.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
what
a
it's
heating of it.
So yeah, red. I'm just Google image searching Volkite weapons, and most of them are red.
They look really good, Mr. B. Nicely done. Nice camouflage scheme on that.
Yeah, urban camo.
You've gone for a light blue and a sort of dark grey and a light blue or a lighter. Yeah.
So
Urban camouflage. Very good.
and
What did you do on the tracks there to give them the?
That is Sterland's mud.
Right.
And what I've done is I've just sort of dipped bits of static grass into it so that it sort of dries, so it looks it's churned up grass, and then just 2 dry brushes, one of Goreful Brown and one of Screaming Skull.
Very good. Looks really good.
And it seems to work quite well.
Nice.
But it's just sort of like the idea is sort of like by doing them in a sort of an urban camouflage, it means I can take them with any of the armies that use it rather than having them painted to one specific.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Then did some Phalanx Warders for the Imperial Fists.
Lovely stuff.
2 Thunder
You love to see
and a Solarite Power Gauntlet on the Sergeant.
Of course. And how many points is that? About 7?
I think it's like 20 points for a Solarite
Free,
Power Gauntlet.
free with every unit.
Phalanx Warders needed that points decrease because bear in mind they were stupidly expensive.
They
at one
were,
point.
but now they may have got a bit too far the other way to be.
No such thing. No. Sorry.
Then I did
Nice models. I will give you that. They are nice models. The Phalanx.
Then I did this sort of. I don't know what he's going to be, a Diabolist or an Esoterist for the Word Bearers. So just sort of guy reading a book with big staff.
That'll work.
Innuendo plenty then.
Bringing in demons or sight or something. And then I found these really cool little Diddy Cyclops, an STL for these Cyclops demolition tanks. And I was like, I need that.
Nice.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah, I like that. So I like it because it's got at the back, it's sort of like wired. So it's like little Solar Auxilia guy moving along with the wire. So because you've got
Which I think you have to have, don't you? Now
you
have
to have a guy with them. So it's quite annoying.
Yeah. They are utterly useless.
Yeah, I thought they looked cool. So
Rule of cool.
Yeah,
I mean, rule of cool. They are, they're like boobs on a bull, basically. To be honest with you, they are utterly useless.
Yeah. Then I went back to
odd turn of phrase that is.
Well, there's another way of saying that. There's slightly less PG.
I'm just gonna sit in process that for a second.
Sticking with the Solar Auxilia, I painted the next 2 Lehman Russes, so it's a 3rd Vanquisher.
You can never have enough.
Yeah. No,
well, I'm sticking with 3. I don't think I want any more than 3 because I think that's just overkill.
I don't think that's enough.
And a command tank.
They should all be.
So
all be vanquishes.
Yeah, so I give the command tank the flare shield, multi-laser, the
multi-laser on the top,
and a las cannon. So I think that's going to be.
Is that just the normal battle cannon now?
Yeah, normal battle cannon on the command tank.
Okay, it's just
the command tank has to take a normal battle cannon.
Yeah.
It's not ordnance anymore, is it? The battle cannon, if I'm not
Don't think so.
mistaken.
It's a lot worse than it used to be.
Well, yes, but it means you can fire that, and you can still fire the last
Sure.
cannon.
True. Then I went into some Legions Imperialis, and I painted a couple of Bane Blades.
Hey, Tyrants.
Lehman Ross Vanquishers, some Lehman Rosses with battle cannons, and some Malcadors. That's,
Wow.
That's
Covering all the scales.
And finally, this Iron Warrior had been broken up somehow, and I had to do a lot of repairs on him. So new gun.
Why waste your time, Mr. B? There are phalanx warders that can paint you.
And that is all of my painting for the month. So
the battle cannon, this just so you know, strength 8 AP4, heavy 1, 3-inch blast.
It's worse than it was, but it
is worse.
Well, that's the problem with that list. Everything is just so much worse than the Vanquisher. The Vanquisher is just too good.
In comparison, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know when a battle cannon would be useful, but not very often, I don't think.
I mean, and then again, even on the Malcador, where you can take the Vanquisher cannon, because it's not got the coaxial autocannon, it's lacking.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Your points wise, you might as well take a Lehman Russ, right?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, but I'll get onto my list later. So
right, cool.
So games played. Do we want to talk about Battleground first, Graham?
Yeah, let's do that first.
I've got some specific photos here. I've just got your photos. I'd taken a bunch of photos, but I wasn't sure how to sort of put them in. So I think we've got some.
I thought this was really cool, actually. So I suppose some background, isn't it? So the Battleground show.
Yeah.
In where was it again?
Middlesbrough this time. It used to be in Stockton, but now it's in Middlesbrough.
Yeah. So this is like a once a year event locally where a lot of the local wargaming groups sort of do a show effectively, and each one has a table and you can play whatever you want. There's a sort of demo games or exhibition games, really, more than demo games. You're not getting people to turn up and play them. But and there's also like a load of traders there as well, selling stuff, which is great. So I think we had 6 people, I want to say, or was it 5? It was me and Richard on the loyalist side. So I brought my Ultramarines, and it was Mr. B. I can't remember the chap's name. I think it's from Middlesbrough Club. Red Russell, yeah, might have been. Yeah. And two guys from Hartlepool and Mr. B against us. And we were fairly lax on because it's a big game. And I don't know about you, but I find big games can be quite exhausting if you get too enmeshed in the seriousness of it all and sort of start playing competitively. So I think it was quite nice to sort of try and keep things pretty low key. I think the objectives were I did a sort of bespoke mission for it. And what was really nice is, I don't know if I got any pictures of it. Anthony made a sort of a big wall.
We do have pictures of it, so yeah,
which was really good. So yeah, but it looked like a really cool spectacle. Mike brought his Titan. I didn't bring mine because it was
the wall at the back there.
Yeah, there's the wall at the back. Yeah, it was really good.
Nice.
So we had Titans. We had basically, I think it was, I can't remember how many points each it was. It was something like 2,000 each, I think, or 3,000 each, and then as many super heavies as could fit on the board. So we had falchions, glaives, knights, titans, everything on the go, which was really cool. And like I said, I had my Ultramarines, which was mainly tanks. In fact, it was all tanks, which was great. Richard had quite a lot of tanks as well. So yeah, it looked really good, I thought, and it was good fun. But again, big games can be really tiring, and so it would be good to. I think the more people you have, the more tiring it can be, because you've got to try and get everything aligned for everybody. But it seemed to go pretty well, I think. It was pretty quick. We didn't get sort of bogged down on detail or too many rules and stuff, and it was just a good fun day.
Yeah, nice. A lot of super heavies there.
It was good, and I think that's nice to see, right? I mean, we don't usually play with super heavies because they're usually massively overcosted, but it was nice to get the Fellblade out for the Ultramarines once in a while. Yeah. So yeah, everybody's armies look great.
My glaive slept in the box still because we had too many.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did take your Titan out, didn't we? In the end,
yes, that went out turn 3. I think it was Angron that one shot.
He did. Yeah, he did. That's correct. Yeah, so that was cool. So I think it was World Eaters, Word Bearers, and what was the third? Oh, was it Iron Warriors? Was the third one?
Alpha Legion.
Alpha Legion. That's right. Yeah. So it's cool.
Purple and sort of purple.
Oh, that's
green. Alpha Legion.
So yeah, I think it was a good sort of demonstration of the sorts and the scenery. We used some of the stuff that Michael has, which looks really
I love
cool.
this
Anyway.
photo of the knights and the tanks just walking.
Yeah, they were really cool. Your knights looked brilliant, and they looked really, really good going through the gate onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
So they was pretty atmospheric and quite. So yeah, well worth checking the photos out 'cause it was cool day.
Yeah, brilliant.
Cool.
Okay, so do you want to talk through the rest of your games then, Graham? I'll just bring up your.
Yeah, so we also had another. We had a big, the sort of traditional big gaming day at Durham Raiders on the 27th of December, which was great. Me and Michael were there. Chris was there with local. Chris was there with his word bearers. As if you're on the video, you can see that now. Michael had his very hardcore army of 2,000 points. I think it was. We did, didn't we? Yeah, 2,000 points each. It was a game of doubles in the end, and my first game actually was against Christian and against his Sons of Horus. So I had my Sons of Horus against his Sons of Horus, which was good fun. I think I managed to just eke a victory. And then the second game for me was we had a game of doubles to sort of round the day off, which went really well actually. But yeah, there was some. It was Loyalist Iron Warriors and your Imperial Fists against my Sons of Horus and Chris's.
My Imperial Fists were literally 1,000 points, 2 Land Raiders, 20 Templar Brethren, and Sigismund.
Sigismund, yeah, it was. Didn't you have Fafnir Ran in the other one? Yeah.
No, I couldn't fit him in.
Okay,
so they got Librarian instead.
Yeah, they did really well actually, didn't they? I mean, the World Eaters charged them, and I still think that your guys gave them a proper see into. The Templar Brethren are proper hardcore.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good times. Well, I enjoyed that game a lot actually, and it was a good fun day as well.
Yeah. Always is.
So yeah, it was really good. So that was another cool game. Long gaming day was good. Like I say, a couple of games in there. So yeah, nice to play the Sons of Horus again, which played quite a bit of those. Yeah. So yeah, that was good. And I think that was probably about it actually, apart from our game.
Yeah, I mean, our game. Yes, I've got photos from that. Yeah. Okay. So my gaming. So I did. I played Dave at the Hartlepool Club. We used my Imperial Fists and a few bits and bobs of Solar Auxilia. So I've got 7 photos here. It was a while ago. So, but it was sort of like a custom mission with a big objective in the center to take. And to be honest, I would have won, but I just needed to kill off 3 more tactical marines in the last turn, but because I couldn't take them off the objective, I lost by 1 victory point. Had I taken them off that objective, I would have won by 2. So it was quite
nice.
irritating.
How did the Vanquishers do?
Really, really well. They are really good. They are really very good. Yeah, they just decimated the Galvan.
It's good as a good photo. That's a sort of photo that I would take. It's a good one, that one.
Yeah, so I was quite happy with them. And then we played a game. This was just the week before Battleground. And my fists were fighting your Mechanicum.
They were.
Hell actually froze over because I beat you.
You did. You gave me a beat down. Yeah. My poor Kaitan did
11-8. Yeah, the Kaitan. Yeah, it was.
It was his worst performance of the season, to be honest with you.
That Leviathan there. Charged
Christmas is December.
Charged into the Kaitan and blew him up.
He did, yeah.
All that was.
I mean, you'd shot the living bejesus out of him the turn before, but
he killed him. And then his explosion took out all of your Ursarax.
It totally did. AP4 is not great when your strength 10 AP4 is very bad against Mechanicum. So I had like a big Ursarax squad of like 10 Ursarax, which are expensive. And the Kaitan blew up, and then it blows up, I don't know, 6 plus D6 inches.
Yeah.
Strength, saying it's strength 7 plus D3 or strength 8 plus D3 or something. Yeah. Or maybe, but anyway, it basically just instant deathed a lot of them. And I was like, ooh, that's a lot of points just gone there.
It was a lot of points.
But it was quite a brutal game, if I remember rightly.
It was very brutal. I finally managed to kill off that ruddy assassin that I can never manage to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I made a mistake with him, and you
was that the traitor one?
Traitor assassin.
Yeah, he's an absolute nuisance.
Yeah, and then on the long gaming day, my first game was against Sam and his Iron Warriors. Didn't quite finish, but I think he might have been winning.
Okay.
I think he might have been.
That was quite a tough Iron Warriors list, actually. I remember actually in the doubles game.
3 contenders.
Yeah, in the doubles game, I think because Mr. B was just living inside his Land Raiders, poor Sam's Iron Warriors just took the brunt of all of our
Okay.
But they're nice models. His models are really nice.
So they unfortunately died quite quickly. But yes.
And I've just got a few pictures from that joint game we had. So there's the
Correct.
Sigismund and Co. getting charged by the word bearers. Oh no, we charged them, but they used something to force a disorganized charge, so we didn't get.
So what they did was they used their advanced reaction, which is very good actually. And then sort of countercharged so that they got the charge rather than you get the charge, and then they get all their perks and stuff. So very cool.
And who won that combat?
I did.
I think
Sigismund absolutely wiped them out.
Yeah, Sigismund will do a number.
Instant death on run. Yeah.
Force them to run and we caught them.
That's right. But I think once the World Eaters had kind of thinned him down a bit, we had a lot of shooting left and we pretty much rinsed him after that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was good. Good fun day.
There's a unit with the librarian claiming an objective. But
it was quite close, wasn't it? That was a good bit. That was a good move on your part, actually.
You guys probably would have won if it got one more turn.
Maybe, but
because I only had like the one dude left from that. So, it's back to the beginning. Cool, awesome.
Yeah, good times. Got more games in than I thought, actually. But yeah, that's good.
Do you want to talk about
busy?
Yeah, do you want to talk about what our plan is for next month to do painting or gaming or whatever?
Yeah,
Chris.
I'm working on a background project that I am not ready to disclose to
mysterious
people at this point in time.
Oh,
okay, very good.
Very nice.
Hopefully,
it's Emperor's Children with personal massager hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
I decided to go World Eaters and Garland Serdak because I think just lean into the things that you hate. That's 2025 is just going to be I've got Perturabo on order as well.
Excellent. I'm glad finally seen the light.
All right. What about you, Graham?
So I'm starting my Dark Mechanicum project. But there's a lot to do. I've realised 40 tech thralls is no fun.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
And I was trying to find.
See, I'm
having trouble with my airbrush and airbrushing generally.
Oh yeah.
So I've bought some rattle cans. Just got the Army Forge rattle can red, which I'm just going to use to Colour Forge. Which seems I've heard good things about. But I was wondering. I think you mentioned it, Chris. You can get different. I tried to find them on Amazon, but I couldn't. Like different nozzles for your spray cans, so you can kind of have thinner things. So you can almost do a semi.
Let me have a rummage because I do have some somewhere, I think, and I'll see if I can track them down.
Might have a go at that. So I'm going to put that army together, which we'll talk about in a bit.
I try and break down your tech files into like batches.
I'm just building them at the moment, so I'm just doing a massive. I'm trying to get everything built, and then I'm kind of through the build stage, and then
if I have more than 20 models to build to paint of the same type, I just can't do it.
No, I'm totally with you on that. So it might. I mean, it's interesting because I know. Well, I've done batch painting before. You like paint. Right, I'll paint all of the this color, and then I'll paint this color, and I'll mix this color, and I'll paint that color. It gets really boring. And somebody said, why don't you just do like 3 models to completion and then 3 models to completion, then 3 models to completion? Because at least you're kind of achieving something at the end of the night. Whereas I was kind of working out, it takes 2 minutes to apply this paint to this model, and there's 10 models. That's 40 minutes or whatever, or 20 minutes rather, of just painting one color, which can be a bit dull.
It's just this,
and it kind of gets to you, doesn't it?
It does a bit. So I might see how I can work that out. But I'm hoping to do some of the heavy lifting at least with the spray paints, but we'll see. So that's my plan really. I'm gonna have to knuckle down and get that done, and I've got a lot to do, as you'll find out in a minute.
I'm gonna try and paint the Malkadors and the Drakazans for the Solar Auxiliary, and hopefully a Las Cannon section too, because for the Heresy camp in May, I've decided I'm taking Solar Auxilia.
You are?
Yep.
Okay, Very good.
I'm just going solo auxilia. I'm like, I need a incentive to get them done.
Do you want the wooden spoon now, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be a guaranteed wooden spoon taking the solo auxilia. But it's just like they're an interesting army, and I kind of think I just need a sort of incentive to sort of push myself to get them done.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, and also like playing non-power armored stuff is quite good fun as well.
Yeah, that is kind of part of the thing, because it's like I haven't played something that isn't Marines for a very long time.
Yeah,
So
agreed. Cool.
I just want to try something that's not all Marines all the time. And
yeah, I can totally get behind that.
And my Mechanicum is I haven't even gotten it out yet to have a look what the crack is for that stuff yet, because it is it's going to be the Mechanicum. I've no doubt is going to be a bit of a disaster, because it was all about back in the old edition. It was very much about the what's the one I'm looking for? The Sekitari. Is that?
Oh yeah, which you can't take unless you
can't take as troops, and they were all being pushed into the old termite drills.
Oh right, yeah, that's right.
They
were pretty useful
now. Yeah, they're really good.
That was quite a good tactic, because they had like haywire guns, didn't they? Yeah. So you could just put them in the termite and just destroy anything.
So I can't do that anymore. So it's like I've got termites sitting there with nothing to go in them. I've got Sekitari, which I can't.
You can't use the termites with the solo auxilia. You can, can't you?
I can, but they're all painted up for the
Who's gonna know?
I don't know.
They're underground.
I might have to repaint them, but we'll see. Anyway, so that would be commitment. So shall we crack on with the State of the Union?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Which button is it? That one. Okay, cool. So State of the Union. All right. So how's this been going? This it's been a while. So I'm actually going to eliminate the one, because we've just discussed that. So I'll just go straight in with, because I literally just did that, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do that because we just talked about it. So there it is. It's the postcard thing. So first off, we had oh god, what's this? Secret level. Why am I? Oh, give me a second. I've messed this up slightly.
Actually, well, while you do that, why don't we talk about that? Actually, did you watch the secret level Space Marine one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I thought it was excellent. I thought it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
It was absolutely brilliant.
I enjoyed I haven't watched the whole series of them yet. I've enjoyed all the ones that I have watched.
The Mega Man one is really good.
Or have you watched the Pac-Man one?
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah,
I didn't
that was really
but
weird.
it was quite interesting.
Oh, yeah,
it's like
Pac-Man.
a bit Black Mirror.
Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Space Marine one.
Yeah, Space Marine was super cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, really. Yeah, good advert for the. And it was Space Marine 2, wasn't it? So I think it had Titus in there, didn't it?
Yeah, Titus is the person doing all the Space Marining.
Yeah, Titus was really good. Was definitely
the D&D one. I've watched that probably about 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all in all, I was really pleased with that series, actually.
I think just the guys that did Love, Death and Robots, isn't it, for Netflix?
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah.
And Anthology.
Okay, right.
Who's this chippy?
Sure of that then. Okay, so should work better now. Let's try that again. So, right.
Please.
Okay, you're not showing. Just a second. I'm gonna pause this a moment, and I'll be right. And I will. No, I can't. Not that. I can't pause it. Okay, fix this because I'm an idiot.
It's the first time I've done this. So, change somebody to R showing yourself. But if you don't get it right, we're going to absolutely murder you.
Yeah, there's going to be there's no way you can hide far enough away.
Okay. Right. Delete that. And directory. Right. Okay. So take that out. Studio mode. Okay. So there we go. Okay. So that was something we're not discussing. So the first thing was the Warhammer World Championship preview. Was really good to us. If you play Solar Auxilia, that is. And the Arvis lighter is coming in plastic, a paper thin aircraft that will be destroyed as soon as it shows up on an augury scanner. It is. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. It's a fantastic model, and it looks amazing. The guy in the back with the multi-laser is just
Yeah.
But
who's going to buy it?
I will, because it's a
Well, of course, other than you, but you don't count.
It's a brilliant model, and I you know what, I really fancy one, but am I ever going to use it in a game? No.
You can shoot it out of the sky with bolt pistols.
Yeah, it does. It's as I say,
yeah.
You know what? If Las Cannons didn't have Sunder, it would actually be potentially viable as a drop pod. But
I just want you guys just to Google very quickly Spaceballs Eagle 5.
Oh yeah, no, that. Yeah.
It's the Millennium Falcon ripoff.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, admittedly, the Eagle 5 is a camper van, but
you could definitely.
There's not a huge amount of a leap from there.
And Chris's favorite tank is coming as well. The Baldur Tank Hunter.
It's not my favorite tank. The name is my favorite name, but the tank is not.
Interesting tank. It's only got the one sponsor on one side.
Yeah, it has.
It's a bit weird, that, isn't it? I mean, what would you put there on that sponsor?
Because he doesn't need two sponsons. It's not what it's about.
It's as rubbish as the problem with that gun is that on paper you think it's going to be amazing, and every time you fire it, you're hugely disappointed.
I don't know if I get one, but see, it's for me, it's confusing because it's like, it looks great. It's got one sponson. It's got a gun that looks great on paper, but if it doesn't do its job, it's a waste of points.
I mean, it's two shots when they're ballistic kill 3, aren't they? Those tanks.
Yeah.
I do quite like the missile though. That looks quite cool.
Hunter Killer Missile and the Solar Auxilia stuff is really good.
The missile. Yeah.
And then that's a standard that comes with all the Solar Auxilia tanks. That's really, really good. And also for Solar Auxilia, the Malcador Infernus. A favourite of
do you remember the days when that used to be terrifying?
A favourite of our friend Kit's, isn't it?
Well, not anymore, I don't think. I mean, it used to be, it used to have a horrific stat line. So you can upgrade it with this sort of toxin. So it had the Hellstorm template.
I'm going to find, I think I've got the PDF somewhere. I'm going to find the old war.
It's an Order War, isn't it?
It was, I don't think it didn't used to be. It used to just be a heavy support choice.
I'm pretty sure it's a Lord of War, this edition.
But it used to have the Hellstorm template, and you could upgrade it with this toxic, whatever it was.
Chem weapons.
I think it was it AP2? It was like flashbang.
It was
AP2.
Yeah, it was some nonsense. Cause...
And of course, you got no cover save from it. So it would just rock up and absolutely delete.
Torrent 12 inches on the
Torrent 12, yeah. So it would absolutely just delete your army. Great tank. But yeah, nowadays, of course, it's AP4. I don't think it's even breaching anymore, is it?
I don't believe it is.
I'm assuming it must be in the main book if they've made a plastic model of it.
Yes,
it's not
in the main book.
Yeah.
It'd be in Imperium, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I always thought it was actually quite a cool thing. I like the Bowser that it tows behind it. I thought
cool. It's a beautiful model. It's really good. And I remember Kit used to take this to literally every single game, and it was
now it's Strength 8, AP4, Ordnance 1, Torrent 9 inches, Breaching 6+, Concussive 1.
Breaching's not too bad, but it's still, I wouldn't.
Breaching 6+ though. That's really big.
That is not great.
I don't think I'd take it for a Lord of War though.
I mean, it'd be great against other Solar Auxilia, but rubbish against everything else.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, the Strength 8, so you could go fishing for 1s or 2s against.
Realistically, most of your fighting is going to be against Marines, and this just isn't going to cut the mustard.
No, somebody's going to sit there and tank it with their
Anything.
plus armor saved sergeant, aren't they?
Yep, exactly. Okay, so the next thing that came up in this preview was Deredeo is getting a new model. Well, I say new model. It's the same model, just a different weapon sprue.
Is it getting a deflector array? The shield thing that we were promised 15 years ago.
They never. It's not in the new rules either, is it?
No, it's not. No,
unfortunately, they never made it. Well, they made it, wasn't it?
They previewed a couple of sort of weekenders, but nothing.
Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing a preview.
It never came out. To be honest, it was a great model on paper, but I was never really sure how it was ever going to be implemented, because it seemed like it was designed for, basically you put your Deredeo with a bunch of Terminators and you walk up the board with it as the shield protector.
Yeah.
But this model
what's wrong with that?
No, it's an interesting idea, but this model is designed to sit back.
It is. It's a sit back and shoot.
It's not designed for walking up.
I mean, to be fair, if you've got an Iron Warriors version of it and you'd then put it with some Siege Tyrants, those Terminators with the plus invon, then sat it behind that and then put it behind the defense line with Kiev Allen, so they re-roll ones. I mean, it would just be amazing.
Yeah,
you can't tell me that Graham wouldn't have put one in an army behind an Aegis defense line anywhere. That would have been third choice on the list every time.
I think it would have done, and I think that's kind of why they got rid of it. It just doesn't jive with what
they want. The las cannon version of this is not bad now.
Yeah,
because it's strength 10. There's not a lot of strength 10 kicking about, and not a lot of strength 10. Unless you're in the Imperial Fists. When you've got strength 10 coming out the wazoo. But yeah, strength 10 ranged las cannon's pretty cool.
Yeah, but this comes with you got your las cannon there, and you've got your Volkite version.
And you love a Volkite, Mr. B. You could Volkite.
It's actually the only one I don't have for this. It's the only one I don't have. I don't have one with a Volkite, so maybe I'll add one to the You
don't see many of them, do you? I mean, you don't see many Deredeos, to be honest with you.
No, I don't know why. It's a really good model.
I mean, it's the same as a Contempt. Is it the same as a Contemptor? Slightly stat line, or is it slightly better?
I think
it's Contemptor.
The same as Contemptor stat line, but I think it's not really a. I don't know. I don't know why you don't see it.
I think because it's in a heavy support slot, and a lot of the guns and the missiles aren't as good as they used to be.
Yeah.
The
missiles.
The only really good choice is the
side armor.
Yeah, the double las cannons are kind of the only thing, and you can because they've got strength 10 big gun.
Strength 10,
but I've used the plasma.
But their utility is kind of
when you can make a las cannon Contemptor and put that in the elite slot for a very similar stat line, for example. Apart from not being strength 10.
I used the plasma recently, actually at Battleground on my word bearers, and that actually isn't as bad as I think.
Well, no, it's breaching 4+, isn't it, on that? So it's quite handy these days. But anyway, it's not a bad model.
It's not a bad model. So this, you get the missile array. Is that the Borealis anti-air missiles, and the Volkite carronade and the las cannons. You're also releasing the 2 weapon sets that separately. I'm going to be perfectly honest with this. I don't see the point in this, because you can't. It's not an easy model to magnetize,
right?
And it's not like you can mix and match the weapons. The only thing you can really mix and match are the ones on top.
On the top mounted ones. Yeah,
so it's like, why would I not just buy the model I want, or buy 2 of them, have whatever weapons, and have the and have whatever top weapons I want?
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know how it is now for the plastic ones, but I did magnetize my resin ones so that the guns would come in and out. So they were all glued with the backpack bits attached, and then they would just slot into the arms.
I found that really difficult, but if you managed it, then obviously
it's not
better model.
It's not the easiest thing to do, but it was doable. But I'm just trying to think if I can find
better modeler than me. But I mean, that's not hard, is it?
No, it's not. It's not true. The Atomatic Pavesi, that's what it was called.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
little dancing.
If only we were given a chance. If only they'd trusted us.
We know full
as I said,
well.
I just
That's
I just
not how
don't
that game
think
works.
that it matches what they wanted it to do, the way they envisioned that particular unit. I really
They
think
probably just worked out that we'd try and completely flange the heck out of it by giving
I mean,
ourselves a
okay.
few.
So it increased its invulnerable save to 4+ against shooting attacks.
Yep.
Shooting attacks on bonuses.
It had like a bubble effect in it, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, that was
increases.
yeah. It had the bubble effect, which was helping the.
Oh, they're within 3 inches of the Derridaeus base.
You could fit a lot of Terminators in 3 inches of Derridaeus base.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like is it 80 or 90 millimeter base or something?
It's a big base, isn't it? Cool. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, let's not.
Half back to yesteryear that never was.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Let's move on. So back to Chris.
Hello. Right. Sorry, I was reminiscing. Right. Where are we? Yes. So, the Space Wolves, famously a legion that opposes any sort of psychic shenanigans.
It's going to be absolutely
whatsoever.
The Space Wolves, there's no way they can use psychic powers.
None whatsoever.
They get really angry.
They don't stand for it.
They won't have it. Just won't have it.
They'll lay planets to waste over it.
They will go to war with a perfectly innocent legion and lay waste to their planet, like you say, Chris, without mercy.
Yeah,
without
any sort of thought or consideration, because that's how strong they are with their convictions.
Absolutely,
but
never to be considered hypocritical at all.
No, but you can purchase a gentleman, the caster of runes.
Oh, that's not psychic powers, then, is it?
It's not psychic powers at all. No, he casts some carved stones, and some coincidentally. Some stuff happens around him.
As if you might say by magic.
As if by some sort of force of will.
Yeah.
He's able to shape reality around him while looking like, if he's not wearing his helmet, he owns a small batch coffee company.
He does. Down the North Lanes in Brighton.
Down the North Lane in Brighton.
He looks very
he does look very hipster. But you can buy a caster of runes now for your Space Wolves.
Not quite yet, but yeah, he's coming.
Well, he has a nice little rune on his armor there. He's got a great big horse skull on his staff.
Which is not a force staff, of course. It's
no.
It's a rune staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a force axe.
Yeah.
Can't be doing with that. And yeah, nice little spiky shoulder. He looks all right.
He does look all right, actually. Apart from the sporran, which looks a bit odd, but the rest of it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like his helmet. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it wouldn't take a lot to chaosify him. Maybe paint him in, just for added insult, paint him in Thousand Suns colours for lols.
Just for gigs.
That would please people no end. But yes,
that's Space Wolves.
Dear, oh dear.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool.
And
obviously,
Mr. Beers pointed out that it's been largely received positively by the community.
Goodness,
always been the case.
Not all being received positively.
We are in a new year. This is it.
New era.
New era.
Clearly, those algorithms have been biting back, paid off by Zuckerberg. Right. No episode will ever be complete, of course, unless Michael tries to shoot. What? That's not a shoehorn.
I must not have put the photo in.
Well, there we go. Michael tries to shoehorn a model, so let's take a look at Necromundus Heretic. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't squeeze in the models.
Dark Mechanicum Army. You ? He has said so. What? What would you? What?
I can see where you're coming from. I can.
Yeah, okay. That's a sort of. Oh, that's weird. He's kind of got two. He's got something growing out of his back that's holding a gun. Oh, that's his other arms, is it?
No.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
On the screen. There you go.
Yeah.
He's a bit odd.
He's an odd chap.
I feel like I need to see more images of him to fully judge his.
I mean, actually, the little skull things are quite useful if you want to use them as cyber familiars, or even
Survey
that
sponge,
little
yeah.
track thing you could use as cyber familiar. So yeah, maybe. All right, I'll allow it. It passes muster.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right then. So what is next? It's the you would have think this would reduce the bitterness of Iron Warrior players, and you'd be mistaken. However,
Don't be ridiculous.
it is a cool looking model. This Warsmith, yeah, it's great. I mean, and you might wait forever for an Iron Warriors Praetor, and then they bring us two.
Yeah, I mean,
What?
There's a Warhammer World exclusive version.
is there?
Oh,
Okay.
controversial.
That is controversial.
So you've got
What's the non Warhammer World version look like?
he is that one. He's got his graviton gun and his graviton hammer. Is it graviton gun? Or-
Yeah,
I haven't put the link in.
could be anything. Is the unhelmeted version looks a bit like a sort of 70s footballer.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part concrete walrus. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I think the helmeted version looks a lot better. But yeah, let me. Which one's the Warhammer World one?
He's the one with the he's the one with the Gravis Thunder Hammer in two hands.
Slightly better pose. Yeah,
Nah. Okay.
I like their chonkiness.
They do look chunky. They're definitely on the chonkster scale. But yeah, I mean, it looks the business. Looks like a Iron Warrior with a Thunderhammer, which is nice.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah. So and then
Cool figure.
Warsmith was going to be secret level, but we already kind of discussed that. But
Yeah. worth a watch.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Best we not let Michael handle this one, obviously, because we know what his previous is with his really unfair comments about the Iron Hands. But they also are getting a Praetor. My goodness, would you, Adam and Eve? It looks a bit busy, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there, isn't there? So we've got, is this a Forge Father or whatever they're called? I believe.
I think he's might just be a Praetor.
Iron.
Yeah, just a
Praetor.
Praetor.
Yeah, I mean, looks like he's got some mecha tendrils hoofing out the back there. So I'm sure you could probably use him as whatever they call their main guys. But yeah, it looks great. Power Fist and Grav Pistol, it says. So Grav Pistols are cool.
Yeah.
Not a bad model. I'm not sure about the helmeted version actually on this one. It's got like some weirdness going on, but
Well, it's got then instead of having the Roman style not feather, brush thing.
yeah,
He's just got. I assume he's a
big old
cog.
cog with his noggin, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, that was cog, COG for people listening on
Iron Farm.
In case we get
on long wave.
further complaints from the Iron Hands
The
community.
character is an Iron Father.
The other guy looks the non-helmeted version.
That sounds like a kink, doesn't it?
It does sound exactly like that. I think that's all right. That's not too terrible.
Yeah.
As Iron Hands go, quite a cool figure.
Yeah.
Very nice. Nice to see it. These are all preview stuff, so obviously
previews,
not.
Yeah. So okay, so keep the new models coming. We've got the Loyalist Overseer.
He's a very happy chap.
He is.
That-
You could definitely use that as a chaplain as well.
I just don't like the beaky helmets, It looks really bad on this one, I think. Painting it in red. I don't know.
It's not.
I mean, I suppose if you can use the sort of Legion specific ones, but those, Ultramarines and stuff are all beaky as well. So, yeah, I mean, given the choice, I'd have, Captain Birdseye there with his mouth open. He's got a very interesting bedroom face. Let's put it that way. Something's happened untoward.
I can't work out if he's a baritone or not with his.
But these guys let you take either free a Terrico with free las rifle sections as Solar Auxilia, or free militia
Tertio.
infantry squads, tertios. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, the traitors got their own version as well. This guy,
So much better.
Yeah, this one does look a lot better. Looks a lot more.
So much better. I do actually. Weirdly enough, we were talking about my Chaos Lord not earlier on, and this is like a little proto version of that helmet, isn't it? Because it's got a similar kind of motif.
It's interesting that the helmeted version and the unhelmeted version are both putting the same face.
So they are. Yeah. Again,
They are, right?
I like this. I like the scar on the eye.
Yeah, that is cool. That is
I
definitely cool. So yeah, I think they're really
Nice.
good looking figures. That one particularly.
stick a load of those helmets on some World Eater Berserkers,
Mm,
and I think that would look particularly
but
fetch.
he's very expensive. But yes, I'm 100% with
Yeah.
you.
Sure.
But good looking models, I think.
Okay, so back over to Chris for something else.
Back over to me for something else. That is exciting. Where are we?
What's
There
all
we are. Sorry, yeah. Some of this is useful, but all of it, well, that's nothing new for the stuff that I say. So, Battlefield Trophies kit. From Games Workshop, it's got skulls, orc skulls, beastman skulls, and even servo skulls. Now they did this already because I have about 3 boxes of the damn
Yeah,
things.
they've done skulls. Yeah.
The Space Marine guy is I don't know. They may do, they may not. There are some relevant
Yeah, they still
knackered
do the
helmets.
skulls. They still do the.
Yeah, just got
pack
the
of-
skulls back. There
I
are
think this is good. I
berserkers,
mean, you
Space Marine
definitely use
heads.
them, couldn't you? I mean, I don't know how much they
Yeah.
are or how much they're going to be, but they look all right. Scattered about on the bottom of your
Yeah,
your
they're
base
not-
and whatnot.
They're fairly useful.
Yeah.
I think you're probably better off getting the normal skulls set if I'm
Yeah, if you're getting just
completely
skull.
honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose so, but and I've just realised, of course, that there's like one of each, isn't there? So there's one, Thousand Suns one there, one World Eaters one. So yeah, I get your point. You'd be a lot of money. It's like a one-off thing. I quite like the Dead Marine in the rubble though. That's quite cool.
Yeah, that's
just a
pretty
shame he's Primaris.
I mean, who's going to know? I mean, obviously, people are going to know.
Everyone's gonna know.
Everyone is going to judge me on that. Whatever.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. It's
Oh,
just
it's
good.
quite nice.
I mean, it's more little fun little things like that. They're always good, but yeah, they just.
Yeah.
I would just get the skulls set if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
All right, over to Graham.
Yeah. So, behold, my works of evil, because this is was it a surprise? I don't know. Maybe the long foretold arrival of the Demon Prince of Slaanesh himself, Fulgrim. And he looks pretty awesome, actually. I think that's a good looking model. Now, there is an argument, of course, that there's a perfectly acceptable version of this in resin already, and some have said it looks better. I mean, it's 50-50, and I guess it would probably just come down to cost and personal preference. But
I do
I
think
think
the resin one looks better, but I would not want to transport the resin one because that looks so.
so with wings, doesn't he? The resin one.
Yeah, he's
Um,
in more of a actioned pose, I suppose, is the best way to.
Yeah.
And his wings are 3 times. The
I
size.
like the model. I think it was really cool. And again, if somebody rocked up with that, I wouldn't moan about it. I'd be very impressed. So yeah, I think it's a really good looking model. It'd be quite nice to paint. And I think it's a really good paint job on this one, actually, from the Games Workshop team. It looks really awesome.
I think the thing I prefer about the resin one as opposed to this is that on the resin one, his body, the scales are more incorporated out of his armor. If that makes his torso goes down with the armor changing until it gets to sort of his more sort of lizardy scale element. Whereas this is just a bit of a flesh sack. And I would say that to Fulgrim's face, absolutely. Flesh sack.
Boy, flesh sack.
Yeah. He'd love it. He'd absolutely love it.
Yeah, he probably would.
But like I say, it's useful if you don't want to spend near on 200 quid on a.
I mean, he's going to be 100 quid, isn't he? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, Angron's 100 pounds or so. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I think for me, it comes down to more the fact that it's not going to fall apart the moment I try and take it somewhere.
Yeah,
definitely. Angry Ron is Demon Angron is £102.50.
Okay, cool. All right.
I mean, to be perfectly frank, yeah, the resin one looks a lot better, but it's nearly twice the price.
Gotcha. Anyway,
yeah, I'm just it's just a distinct I prefer just that one little element of him.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Cool.
so all right. So Golden Demon is returning to Adepticon. No word yet on a UK demon.
There wasn't a Golden Demon last year in the UK,
No,
was
there
there?
was not a Golden Demon last year in the UK, and I think that was a bit of a disappointment because, I mean, yes, there was one at Spiel, but
Spiel? Yeah.
yeah, but it's like the UK is sort of like the birthplace of GW, so why can't we have our?
It's not sort of like it. Definitely is.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
there's always been a UK demon.
There's
And
always been.
I
Apart from brave move.
I think it'll be a big disappointment if we don't get it, because I definitely know there are painters who were not able to go to Spiel.
Have you been to Spiel before? I mean, I sort of
been 1 year. It's a lot of fun. It's great. It's more of a trade show though than an attendee show, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
It's very much geared towards people who are buying games for the market in especially in Germany. It's very much a wholesalers and shop event, as opposed to something like the UK Games Expo, which is very focused towards consumers. Spiel has never really been consumers go, but it's not been its main focus, if that makes any sense. So
yeah, totally.
I suppose the thing with doing it in Adepticon is, as opposed to here, is there isn't an Adepticon equivalent in the UK.
No, there isn't. And obviously, I think Warhammer Fest, the last one, was a bit of a flop. And that comes largely down to the fact they didn't have enough to do.
Yeah. So I guess I think that's probably the thing, is that, where they're going to get the most eyes on these particular models or whatever.
Yeah,
that's probably going to be
a bit of a
one of these places.
Disappointment if they are pivoting this much towards the US.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, you're right. I mean, the Warhammer Fest, you could go round it in 10 minutes, basically, if it wasn't for the queues, because there wasn't really a lot to do.
Yeah, I think what they missed at Warhammer Fest was using their own resources. I mean, Justin and other authors went there on their Todd.
Their own kind of recognizance. Yeah.
Why didn't you put up a signing table for them and just comp their travel or whatever?
Yeah. Fair enough.
That is what it is. So moving on to Chris, and he'll tell us about the preview.
Viva Las Vegas. Someday, at some point in our 9-year history, somebody's going to pay for tickets for us to go to this. You know that, right?
Sure.
I've foreseen it.
He's foreseen it. I think you need to lay off the sherry at Christmas.
I think I probably do. Just fight them along. Actually, weirdly enough, a funny story, or not so funny story. I had a big hoodie on the other day at work, and obviously I'm on Teams calls, and I kind of caught a look of myself of my camera seeing me, and I thought, bloody hell, you look just like Baron Harkonnen.
That's always a flattering thing.
Anyway, so I was like, that's not great. So yes, the hoodie made me look very much like Baron Harkonnen. So anyway, yes, I think that somebody out there, some rich patron, is going to go, you know what, I'd love to see these lads in America. Yeah,
sure.
Let's just pay for some flights.
I think
accommodation and stuff.
Anything's going to happen, I'd pay for them to have their passports revoked to prevent them leaving the country.
Stop them getting anywhere near the last one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, fortunately, I suppose we've never had to explain to our respective partners, hey, I'm going to be away this weekend.
Yeah, no, we're away this week.
It's just a small event in Las Vegas. What was that? Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Las Vegas?
I don't think that will go down that well.
No, I think there would be issues. But anyway, there you go.
I'm absolutely positive there would be issues.
Anyway, so if you want to put us through that potential difficult conversation, feel free to drop some money in our Patreon for us to go to the Las Vegas Open.
We'll take that emotional hit when
we look at the silhouettes that they sort of put up there. That's definitely looking like, to me, Thanatar with the Thanatar Calyx on the second one in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
totally.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think people have accepted the first one
I
is
think- is it-
Lucius, Chaos Lucius, and the next one is the Thanatar Calyx, and then you got
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Old World, and yeah,
I mean, that's with the weird sort of things at the top.
yeah. Apparently the I think it's the purple. There's a bigger there's a video, but it sort of shows the
Okay.
Not Fabulous Bill.
no,
was
he's
also
already got a
Emperor.
recently new model.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, there you go. Isn't that 17th of January? So a couple of weeks. We shall find out. Obviously, it's not too. It's. I've got a passport. Chris has got a passport. Mr. B's had his passport revoked many times. So there's still time if you want to.
We know a man that can get him one, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just realizing that this new section I haven't set up like a sort of transition thing. So
Well, we can just get it from.
I'm gonna.
State of the Union.
I'll do the Aunt Sally's one so I can get the timestamps and stuff. So
Okay, very good.
but this will appear to be Aunt Sally's, but it isn't.
It's not really. Manatee. Yeah, it's reading a book of common sense, which I thought was quite good, actually. Very good.
Yes.
Well done.
Okay,
So
so
look,
plans
Yeah.
and resolution.
we wanted things.
Yeah, plans.
Plans.
I don't know. Resolutions. If do resolutions or what, or we're just doing.
I think we have done this before.
What are our plans? What are our plans?
Well, the Dark Mechanicum is going to be the next army to do for me.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I'm running out of room. So that either means selling some stuff that I'm not using, which I've kind of done in the past and sort of regretted, but I don't think I'll be hugely bothered. I mean, I might let the Salamanders go because I don't play them, or maybe even the Solar Auxilia because I don't play that. But I think what I might do is, so I think my plan is going to be as follows. I'm going to do the Dark Mechanicum list for May. And then after that, I think I'm going to do Black Shields. I'm going to do that Pale Host that I wrote the story for. I'm going to do that as a concept. So that's like a mixture of White Scars and Iron Warriors. I've looked in bikes already. I think that might be quite cool. Some jet bikes.
Yeah, that could be kind of cool.
I think.
Nice. Trying to think. Mr. B was very kind enough to furnish me with some teeny tiny tanks.
Yeah, me too, actually. Thank you very much.
Which were very, very kind of him. So I have £60 worth of GW vouchers that
Oof.
I need to
Burning a hole in your pocket.
not burning a hole per se, but waiting for the right moment to be utilized.
Gotcha.
So they might go on more teeny tiny tanks. But I have been looking at the Teeny Tiny Tanks game rulebook to see how many Teeny Tiny Tanks I can take in an army and how many little squishy humans I'm forced to take.
Yes.
Because that's always a nuisance.
Got you. I think someone was saying about the sweet spot points wise is about 2,000 or 2,000, I think. Which I've got for my Iron Warriors now. If I chuck in some Titans, because you can always beef it up with some Titans.
Yeah.
Which you've got from Titanicus. So yeah, that's cool. Well, we could definitely start doing that if we get a chance. I haven't actually played the game of it since, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything crossed, I'll be driving again soon. I know there's quite a few people playing it down Durham way now, so there might be an opportunity to get some learnings in on that side. So maybe that's something else that I'll try and get a few more games in and understand the rules for. So maybe I'll add that as my resolution as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to get my demon army on the board at some point this year.
Yeah, I mean, you've got some cracking models there.
Yeah.
Haven't you?
So they are languishing. And the problem is, as we'll come on to later on, I don't think I can utilize them any longer. So,
okay, shocking. All right. Well, that's us. Mr. B, what's your plans then?
Myself, I'm going to try and get this Solar Auxilia up to about probably about 3,500 points as a fieldable army.
Yep.
That's kind of the plan. Get them up and running. And I kind of want to add some solo auxilia or militia to my word bearers and ultramarines with an overseer, because I actually think the idea of having a bunch of squishy humans that that an overseer can just sort of like boss around in each of my armies as cheap objective holders sounds kind of cool. So
that's actually, I just realised that. So one of the reasons I don't play my Ultramarines very much is because it's very much a tank army, because it's like spearhead. But I just realised that actually what I could do is exactly what you're suggesting there, which is to get overseer and then just bring the Solar Auxilia into the thing, just to add some less fearsome options. So good thinking, just to be
just something else. I think it's kind of a cool idea. So and then I'm kind of thinking towards the end of the year, Combat Patrol, the magazine, is going to have I think it's towards the end of the year, is going to have Astra Militarum stuff. So I'm like, ooh, maybe I could do a cheap militia army or allied force.
Okay,
because again, we're going to talk about militia in a little bit, because that's kind of a thing that someone sort of wrote into it.
Yeah,
so
quite right too, if you don't mind me saying so. So
we've got some resolutions from the guys who come and play games on the Sunday at the Heresy Empire. So do you want to read through these then, Graham?
Yeah, so Richard's, he's cautiously building some loyalist Emperor's children with got 2,500-3,000 points. So that'd be quite a nice army to look at. Paul, who actually builds my armies every week and actually builds them and plays them. The man machine. 2.5K of Mechanicum to go with his knight, and 3K of Third Company Emperor's Children. This is the year of the Emperor's Children by the look of things.
Does seem that way.
Well, he has cryptically said here, we'll see how things pan out with a new edition, which of course rumours abound on this, which we never speculate on rumour. We just talk about it endlessly. So like it's actual fact. But yeah, that's definitely been a thing. A lot of people have been talking about this, and I think we talked about it ourselves. Carl is going to be looking at his demons, getting them to 3K, and also build 3K of Dark Mechanicum. And he wants to play more games as well, so that's good.
Yeah.
And Gareth is he's corrupted Emperor's Children, so looking at some of the corrupted stuff that you can put in there. Black Shields as well, so very similar. And he's going to finish off his Legion Imperialis Solar Auxilia. So that's cool. So good stuff. If you've got anything you want to share with us, please do. You can drop us a line at the end of the show. We'll tell you how to. But if you want to share with us what your plans are for next year, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
See how you go.
Be fantastic. Okay, so that's us. So we've got a couple of letters that have come in, so I'll shift us along to letters.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So who wants to read these letters then?
Oh, I think we can do that.
Okay.
Cults and Militia letter to Michael Bottrell, Esquire, care of Edge of Empire Towers. To quote Regina George?
Okay, I'm going to assume here, Graham, you've never seen the film Mean Girls.
No, I have not.
Okay,
it's quite funny.
Not in my wheelhouse. Dear Michael Bottrell, please consider this letter to be a cease and desist order and to stop trying to make cults and militia happen. It's not going to happen. In all seriousness, you really do like to talk about the idea of cults and militia army, but I've never seen one. Likewise, I don't know anybody who's played one, and I don't think the army is relevant for the game. So please, you ought to forget about them.
It's fairly passive aggressive, isn't it?
I don't think it's passive.
It's not passive.
Well, I was trying to be polite.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. Well said, whether that was. So yeah,
Mrs. B, don't give up your dreams. Don't let the man tell. I mean, there are people trying to claim whole countries these days on the whims of things. You can make cults and militia happen. I believe in.
They're an army that's in the game. They're a legit list. I never see them. It's
Just don't start buying red hats with Make Cults and Militia great again, and having bizarre outdoor rallies, if you don't mind.
No.
Okay, who's going to read out the next one?
Would you like to, Chris?
Okie dokie. Over the past year, I've noticed that many of my favorite units seem to be falling out of favor. I suspect.
Are you deliberately reading it like Mike Smash?
No, I'm just reading how I read, Graham. Because they're still only available in resin, and production issues might be discouraging people from picking them up. That said, I think 3D printing could offer a solution. What do you think of some of the underrated units that don't see much use in the current meta but have great potential? For me, it's Laser Destroyer Rapiers. They're absolute beasts at taking down Land Raiders and Dreadnoughts from a distance. And that's from Andre? We'll go with one of these two.
I mean, watch this space, the Laser Destroyers. But what do we think? Some underutilized with great potential units.
I kind of want to say javelins because you don't see them these days.
Yeah.
You don't.
I mean, how much are they? 105 points, I think, for a javelin with las cannons and a multi-melter, something like that.
I think the problem with them is that they lost Jink, and if you bring them on as reserves, they get shot to death because they just get a free hit, basically.
They are temporarily.
They've got toughness values now, haven't they?
Yeah,
they haven't got armor value.
Yeah,
and it's AP3, so it's pretty easy to rip through them quite quickly. So yeah, I think they're good for that. I'm trying to think of underutilized.
The Deradeo, we talked about it already.
Yeah, I think you might be right. It's probably one you don't see much of. That's actually pretty good. But again, it does take up that heavy support slot. So
yeah,
there is that.
But has potential.
I think because it's expensive and hard to get hold of, underutilized is probably fair to say the Omega.
Yep.
I mean, that's a fantastic tank, and luckily I've got two. But that's a super tank. That's one that is 3D printing might be a solution for that. You're right. Just to print those turrets because it's a really great tank.
Yeah,
even the Punisher, I think, actually is also another really good option.
I think the Proteus, is it the Proteus or whatever, the standard land speeder? That's not bad either, especially if you pop on some. I think you can pop Graviton on there or dual Volkite.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see them. You're right. You just don't see them anymore, do you?
Fast attack's always been probably the slot that's kind of ignored the most.
Yeah, I think I mean, jet bikes unfortunately look really cool and they're really quick, but again, they're easy to take to rip through nowadays. I mean, again, sort of harking back to the previous edition where they were 2+ armor save, toughness 5, and could jink. I mean, they were unstoppable. So, yeah, I think those are probably some. I'm trying to think of some others. I wouldn't say any of the flyers are.
Yeah, they're
underutilized for a good reason.
Yeah, flyers are not great.
No.
Yeah.
What about Seekers? You don't see too many of them, but they're pretty good.
What's that?
Seekers.
Yeah.
I think now that you've got the special weapons kit, I think that once those have,
because you have to sort of model those different bolters on them.
Yeah.
Which I think I did on mine by putting scopes on the bolt guns.
I mean, they don't need to have it's not like a special. I mean, it used to be a special bolter, but I don't even know if
it's got special ammo. So I guess it's like just for sort of so people can differentiate that from a tactical squad. But you're right. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily need to change the bolters because the bolters
do that with squad markings or something.
Yeah, true enough.
I'm trying to think what's on the legacies list that might have.
I think most of
Whirlwind kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean the Scorpion is just so much better.
Yeah, just trying to think.
Medusa and Earthshaker are not quite.
No, not what they used to be.
Not what they used to be. I think the rapier, the laser rapier is definitely one of those that you don't see often. But it is really, really good. Whenever I see it on the table, I'm like, oh no, not one of these.
I mean, the good thing about them is they're not as good as a 10-man las cannon squad.
Yes.
So you can take them as a way of dealing with your Spartans and your Land Raiders without kind of beasting somebody with your 10-man las cannon squad. So because they're artillery, they can't return fire. They can't react at all, in fact. So you don't have to worry about shooting them and then shooting you back like you do with las cannons, or charging them and then overwatching you with las cannons and what have you. So
Yeah.
they're a good unit if you don't want to take 10-man las cannon squad.
Land Raider Achilles.
Ooh, now there is with the quad launcher in it. Is that still in the game?
It is
Yeah,
still-
it's on the Legacies document one.
Legacies unit.
Ignores Armor Bane.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I've got one actually, which I bought
Yeah.
way back in the day for my salamanders. And that was when
Oh,
the
you
quad
did.
launcher was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not quite so good now, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, that was quite a good tank. I think the thing is though, that at the time there wasn't a option for the melter guns on the side. There is now, which is kind of annoying because I put the Volkite on the side of mine because that was all there was in version 1. So yeah, maybe the Achilles it's quite expensive. It's about 300 points though, isn't it?
Something like that.
It's 320 points. Yeah.
Oh, flipping heck. Yeah, a 6-man transport capacity, if I'm not mistaken.
12.
Yeah.
12.
it's
Oh,
12
okay.
now. It used to be,
Six-
quite small.
6 Terminators, but yeah, 12.
Oh, yeah, that's not so bad then.
That's not so
Yeah, I
bad.
mean, it's a lot for a Land Raider, right? Because you could get a Spartan-ish, albeit without flare shield, for 30 more points.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just trying to think what else on that list. But I think that's got some
that's
years.
probably about it, really. I think most of the things,
Sky Shield landing pad. You never see them these days, do you?
No.
Ever since
well, I
we
mean,
stopped
your left field with the void shield generator.
That's it.
I thought that was out of the game. I thought it was long gone, but no. Lo and behold, it's back.
Still, there we are, clinging on.
I think there's a lot of really cool units out there that are in the resin section that just I think we're not seeing because there are, as the guy alluded to, production issues. Obviously resin is a very labor intensive job, and we know that they're struggling with keeping stuff in production. So things like your Aquators, I don't know if they're any good, but because I've never seen one in the wild. Because I know on paper you can say, oh well, it's not all that great, but until you actually play it, it's hard to judge.
I don't know. I mean, when we did the Iron Warriors list the other time, I was actually quite impressed with it.
Yeah, they're definitely.
They were actually quite good. I think if you give them the phosphex and stuff, they become quite useful. But yeah,
I think it's Legion dependent.
But they're not as useful as 2 Whirlwind Scorpions. Is always going to be a problem. But yeah, they're not bad. So yeah, I think I would go with laser destroyers, the very various Sakaran versions that aren't
because the Punisher is just with a rate of fire. The Punisher is.
Yeah, I mean it's 16, 18 shots. I think strength 6 AP4, shell shock 1. Great against anything that isn't Marines. I mean, you don't want to be shooting Mechanicum with it. It will just murderize everything. 2 of them, and also because it's Sunny strength 6, it's counted as a defensive weapon. So if you shoot it, it will shoot. It can shoot you back, and it can also intercept if you want it to. So
for
it's
me,
pretty good.
For me, it is definitely going to be the Javelin because I think that I think it's a great anti-tank vehicle. Yes, it's got problems because, like many vehicles, it's going to get shot off the board the moment it's got to survive. But I think it's got a lot of potential.
Okay, well, that was the letters. I did notice on it was either Facebook or Instagram when we mentioned that there's a episode about Iron Warriors. Somebody went, "Oh, great, Graham's going to rabbit on for 3 hours and not let the others have a word in edgeways." I don't remember who it was. I figure it might be like your account, Chris, that you're using.
I out of the 2 of us, Graham, I've never needed a backup fake social media presence.
Look, there's the 5th Godsmith or whatever his name is a real person and is absolutely right in everything he says. This new person, I fear, is a pale imitation of that wonderful gentleman.
That's some sensible, well-rounded thought. That's what that is.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I think that's it for the letters that we have. Shall we move on through the night into the list challenge?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay. Right. List challenge. I think so. What we sort of decided on, because I think this was a sort of a late decision on this one. We'll go with the first list. Was sort of, I think the phrase I used was needling around with in our heads in for what we'd like to do first. I think is the way I put it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the idea. It's a 3,000 point list. What we would like to do, what we're kind of thinking of doing first in 2025. And it's just sort of like, I guess, sort of which direction we're heading in. Because I think New Year, I hate the phrase New Year, New Me, but I think it is a time when people do a lot of reflection on and stuff. And that for us Warhammer nerds can often be, hey, we're going to do a new army, or we're going to do a new list or whatever. So yeah. So that's basically it. And the list challenge is, we judge it on 3 main criteria: the theme, how effective it's going to be, and the cost. So we're not trying to. The idea is not, just make the list that's going to boss the field the most. It's like, try and make a list that sort of fits a theme, does it work, and at the same time isn't stupidly expensive.
Mhm.
So because at the end of the day, this game is not one simply about making the best list. It's about having fun and creating lists that feel and fit the theme of what the game that you're trying to play.
What an absolute fool.
I was going to say, what nonsense are you spouting there, Mr. B?
That's always been our philosophy. We're not about making a list that is going to absolutely dominate some, Joey mainstream.
We may have not got that memo.
Joey Mainstream.
Hey,
I'm Joey Mainstream here. I'm trying to play my Emperor's Children list.
So yeah, I think it's safe to say that ignore all of that, because this is the real. That hippie nonsense has no place in our list.
Yeah, that's it. Get a haircut, you hippie.
I have.
Peace and love can do one. Yeah. Okay. This is the new world order. So yes,
okay, so who would like to go first?
I mean, the ideal is exactly that, Mr. B. Create a good army list that's themey, but isn't going to get absolutely spanked off the board.
Yeah, we're not looking for you make it easy for you. At the same time, you got to have a list that's
it's a balance, and that's the hard thing is to make that balance between those 3 competing elements: theme, effectiveness, and cost. So who wants to go first?
Chris, would you like to? You don't play many games, so it's always good to hear your lists and.
Okay.
No, that's not like that. Wasn't slagging off.
This
like
is no. I'm not going.
What do you know? You don't know anything about the game. Play it.
Absolute chump.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I was saying.
I know. About to say. It's not.
No, I was just saying, because when Chris does play, he plays some very interesting lists.
He doesn't. Chris plays one list and just changes the colour scheme.
Where's my?
And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is no different.
Shall I bring it up on the screen for you, Chris?
He is the one-trick pony.
I am.
It's a rather short list, to be fair.
Hey, look, it is an absolutely cracking short list.
Wow.
So, Demons of the Ruin Storm, because I want to get this list on the board. Just need to bring up the PDF quickly on my computer, and I've just forgotten where I did download it to, so let me just reopen it very momentarily. Downloads.
This is a list I hope gets a book.
It won't. It's still PDF. And yeah, it does. Demons of the Ruin Storm. There we go. So yeah, Demons of the Ruin Storm. I have gone, of course, with the Heedless Slaughter Etheric Dominion.
What's that?
Basically, this is my Khorne army.
Yeah.
Bringing it back from 40k into Heresy. So, Heedless Slaughter. A unit composed entirely of models of special rule must declare a charge if it is able when they begin the assault phase in 8 inches of an enemy unit.
Yep.
If there's more than one eligible target, the control player chooses the target. Note this does not allow models of the special rule to charge different units to the one that they've been shooting attack against in the previous shooting phase. Shooting. Chumps. Additionally, units composed entirely of models with the special rule as +1 to the value of any charge rolls, +1 to the score used to determine if they win the combat in the assault phase, and +1 to the value of any rolls made to determine the results of a sweeping advance. So, yeah, they're going to run you over, cut you down, and just generally be absolute terrible people, really. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. Warlord trait will be the Conqueror of Kings. So a Warlord with this trait gains +1 attacks when locked in combat with a model that has the independent character special rule or with any unit.
Can the demons, just as a question, I know this is completely unrelated, can they take the generic Warlord traits or are they stuck with their own?
I assume they can take them from the normal as well, but it does say when selecting a Warlord trait for a Warlord from the Demons of the Runestorm list, one from the following list may be selected. So I could take one of the other ones.
All right, okay, cool. Sorry. Just curiosity.
Yeah, no, I want to lean into that taking of skulls of special people vibe. So that's why I've gone with the Conqueror of Kings one, because Khorne craves skulls for the Skull Throne. So a
definitely
Runestorm
T set.
Definitely, absolutely not. So Runestorm Demon Sovereign rocks in at entirely 350 points. Immaterial Wings to give him a movement of 14. Miasma of Rage to give him Rage 2. And Warp Forged Flesh for 25 points to give him a 2+ armor save. Because he doesn't normally have. He has a 3+ armor save normally.
Yeah.
So here's the interesting thing. So he can also take a Sovereign Greatblade for 10 points, which he absolutely will do.
Of course.
Because Sovereign Greatblades +3 strength, AP 1, melee, brutal 3, murder strike 5+. They are unwieldy, however, but
they're not though.
Because
they're actually not. There was a thing about this. There's a weird rule about them. I can't remember where it is, but somewhere it says that they don't treat unwieldy weapons as unwieldy. I can't remember where it is, but it's absolutely worth looking up because it does say unwieldy on the thing, but they're not actually unwieldy for a demon sovereign. And I can't for the life of me. It might be in the description of it somewhere, but there's definitely something about it. I think it was on the Goonhammer review of Runestorm Demons. They pointed this out.
Okay. Yeah, I might.
So it's actually better than you think. It's not.
Yeah.
What's the weapon again? It's the
Sovereign Greatblade.
Sovereign Greatblade. Blah blah blah. Weapon skill or higher. Blah blah blah. Meaning it's okay. Yeah. No, I haven't. I've got it down on the yieldy. So maybe
there might be something to do with the rule for the behemoth type.
He's not a behemoth type. He's a character and monstrous. He's not the behemoth.
Oh, he's not the archdemon. I'll see what I can find.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've got 6, 7, 8 attacks when he's charging into more than units than him with rage. Toughness 6, 2+.
Yeah, here we go. So here's the rule: creatures with the monstrous subtype.
Yeah.
Ignore unwieldy.
Oh, okay. There we go. So why put it in the rules?
Why put it in the rules?
Because he's the only one that can take a Sovereign Greatblade.
Yeah. So I think it's worth double checking the monstrous subtype, but apparently, according to Goonhammer, the excellent article they wrote on Runestorm Demons, it's actually they're not impacted by it.
Okay, cool.
Obviously better than our article, which says they are.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
It's hidden away somewhere, so that makes sense. Initiative 6, so yeah. Strength, so 8 potentially. Strength 9, AP 1, brutal 3. Attacks is going to ruin almost everybody's days, if not everybody's days.
Pretty much, yep.
So that's my HQ choice. I have 2 squads of 4 brutes. You can't get as anything extra special, but they are super useful. 3 wounds each, 3 attacks each, weapon skill 5, 4+ armor save, but that's okay. We can work with that. They are strength and toughness 5, so they're not going to be overly instant death, which could be a concern. They do have a 5 up invuln, so we can work with that. That's okay. Then I come on to my 15 model count bloodletter squads.
Yep.
No upgrades again. I just wanted to put 60 demons on the board and just let them murder their way across
Seems reasonable to me.
the battlefield with their demon armaments. So they have demon armaments, I think 4, and their immaterial blades as well. So let me just find the immaterial blades thing. When rolling to wound for each one of those immaterial blades, special rules on attacking with a weapon with the hazard immaterial blades for each to wound roll or arm penetration of 6 or higher. The control player resolves these wounds of any penetrating hits at the AP value listed in brackets instead of the weapon's normal AP. So that's AP 3 on a 6. So there's 15 guys in there. I'm probably going to get a reasonable amount of 6s, I like to think, when I'm getting those wounds in.
Yeah.
It's just, objectives are king in this game, and I need lots of guys that are going to take objectives and probably reasonably hold objectives. 5+ armor, 5+ invuln. But they do have 2 attacks each, so volume of attacks is going to be my friend. 30 attacks from anyone is going to be a problem.
Mhm.
Then we get on to my heavy support choice. So this is a Behemoth with Miasma of Rage again, and Warp Forged Flesh. So 2+ armor save on this chap. And the Behemoth is, well, he is what he's described himself as being. 7 wounds, 5 attacks, 4s for weapon skill and ballistic skill, strength 7. He can take a Behemoth blade. I didn't take the Behemoth blade because the model that I would use for him, or I wanted to use for him, wouldn't have one. But if he was to take the Behemoth blade for the 30 points, that would be AP2 Brutal 3 again with Sunder, and potentially AP1 with the Immaterial Blades special rule. So it's kind of worth it, but for what I wanted to do with the list, it's a fairly top heavy stacked list.
Yeah. One of the downsides with the demons, and there's no way around it, unfortunately, is that all you need is some smart ass with Chosen Warrior, and you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And this is the same with what's his name, who we talked about in the show, the demon princes, the
Caravan.
the demon primarchs. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So if you have somebody with Chosen Warrior and you charge them with your very expensive and very effective Lord of War Archdemon, and they go, okay, I'm going to challenge you. You're a single unit. You can't not be in the challenge.
Yeah.
And they can just feed you one guy for 6 turns, and assuming on the assumption, of course, that they pass their leadership test, you can just keep feeding the demons, which is a real pain. And I think it's part of the problem with the challenge system is that, that really cool model can just be held up by, a command squad.
Yeah. Just good.
So, but yeah, actually, weirdly enough, I was saying it's monstrous. That means you ignore a boarding. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, okay.
It's the unwieldy rule itself. Of course it is, right?
Indeed.
So, if you go to, I'll give you the page number. So, page 249 of the main rulebook, unwieldy.
Yeah.
A model attacking with this weapon piles in and fights at initiative step 1, unless it has the dreadnought unit type or monstrous subtype. I mean, how well hidden is that?
That is, yeah.
So, yeah, Sovereign Great Blades, awesome. But again, you do run that risk because you can't even put him in a squad with other demons. So they then, they can be sort of challenged out, or somebody else can take the challenge on his behalf. Yeah. So it is something to bear in mind if you're playing the list. But yeah, it's a cool, and I think it'll look great. I mean, big demons, and the ones that you've got, particularly the big corn demons.
So, yeah, I mean, the last thing Mr. B unfortunately has failed to look fully at the list that I sent him because there is another page.
Sorry.
So, I do have an archdemon to finish it off. I did toy because he's a Lord of War slot, the big lad.
Yeah, he's there on the picture. Archdemon.
Yeah. But there's more after that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Doesn't matter. I did toy with taking Cabanda.
Oh yeah.
He's £240 for the model. If you were going to do it with actually Cabanda.
Very expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. When the Archdemon, yes, I have an Archdemon. He only rocks in about 5 points cheaper than Cabanda. I think he's about 570 odd points. With his what has he got? He's got the wings. He's got the miasma of rage, and just for a bit of variation, I gave him Dark Flame, which is a very localized Fleshbane Strength 5 AP 5 torrent thing, just to have something sort of them breathing fire and spewing blood in someone's face kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I do then have an allied detachment.
Sorry.
That's right, Mr. B, doesn't matter. So World Eaters, because why wouldn't I?
Oh, yeah.
You weren't joshing when you were talking about World Eaters.
No. World Eaters. Now, I have taken Khan as the HQ choice. I've given him Gore Child, and one of the World Eaters things. Let me just find it very quickly.
Oh, I'm pulling it onto screen here, but it's gone into.
Sorry, Mr. Bit, all right.
Gone huge.
So, World Eaters Berserkers. Any model with both the independent character and Leisure Society's World Eater special rules that does not also have the subtype may be upgraded to a Berserker for 20 plus points and gains the Ravening Madman special rule and increases attack characteristics by 1. Khan has independent character and Leisure Society's World Eater special rule. So, can unique characters take upgrades?
No. I can take the war gear they're given on the thing.
So I looked everywhere. I tried to find if I could double check it anywhere to see where it was, but
because it'll basically say in the thing it'll tell you what stuff you can buy.
Yeah,
you can't swap out their weapons, for example, or something else.
No, but this is a army thing as opposed to a model upgrade.
I've got it on screen now.
As a rule, there's a no. But what was it again? Sorry,
just so Army of the World Eaters is the section it's under. The following comprises a list of new options of war gear available only to attachments.
That's the thing. You can't
with Leisure Society's World Eaters faction. It's options and war gear.
Okay.
So it's not actually a war gear thing. I'm not giving him a different. I'm just giving him the Ravening Madman special rule and an additional attack if I can. If I can't, it doesn't really matter. It's only 20 points. But I couldn't see anywhere that says unique characters can't take them.
Let me have a quick look at the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe. I'm sure people out there will be.
Someone will be screaming at me, going, "You're
know,
absolutely
don't
full."
be
But I did have a look when I was writing this, and I couldn't
Power
see
gaming
it in.
say.
I couldn't see it in the characters section. Anywhere. It might be under hidden away and unique somewhere. I couldn't see.
Okay. So ravening madman is not is a thing they all get, isn't it?
So they don't. They get it as part of this Berserker upgrade.
Yeah.
Any model with independent characters in Legion of Started World that does not have the cycle may be upgraded
to a Berserker
for 20 points to get the Ravening Madman special in case it attacks characteristics by 1. I see where you're coming from.
You see?
I think not, but I could be completely wrong. I get your point though.
I don't think he can.
I think it does count as war gear, weirdly. But yeah, I'll see if there's something in characters.
That's right.
Because you're right. You are right. I mean,
it fulfills both those criteria. I don't know if I couldn't see anything in characters that said that they couldn't. I don't know if there's anything under unique somewhere that I couldn't find.
Somebody that knows. Be interesting whether you can.
That would be the aim of the game is to do that, because he gets an additional attack, and any model making to wound runes assault phase against unit composed entirely models with this special rule reduces its strength by -1, so it makes Khan harder to wound, basically. That would be the aim of the game. But it doesn't matter if he doesn't take it. It's only 20 points. But it was just if possible. And then I have 2 simple despoiler squads with 4 additional guys in each one, 5 heavy chain swords, and 2 power weapons in each one. Basically, just troops. So I wanted to. What I might do. I have Scarlac and I have a Bloodthirster model already. So this is the other problem, is what base sizes things go on for what particular model type.
Oh yeah, because they don't tell you.
Yeah. So Scarlac is on a 100 mil base, basically. Does that qualify him as a gargantuan? Would he qualify as a monstrous creature being on that size base, or is that too big for a monstrous creature? Because if it is, then I've got to look at an alternative to running a heavy support choice. And the same is true of the Demon Sovereign, because the Angron model that I wanted to use, which is kind of the whole reason why the World Eaters are attached to the bottom of this list, he also has 100 mil base. So whether monstrous creatures are only a certain size,
I think so. But
which I think they are, but
they never specified in the thing how big the size for each one should be, right? It's not written anywhere.
It used to be on the old in Mark 1.
It did.
They used to have like a guide, but then you had a bit more
not anymore
leeway. Because the Behemoth is a monstrous creature, the Sovereign is a monstrous creature, but the Archdemon is a gargantuan creature. So there's some jiggery. I might not be able to run. This is the thing. I might not be able to run the old Forge World Bloodthirster and Scarlac at the same time in the army as originally was intended, because base sizes may allow that.
Okay.
And you can't rebase them on anything big smaller than that, because their legs are spread too far. But basically do what I have always done in Heresy, which is run at people, cut them down, and on this occasion offer up skulls to the Skull Throne, which when we paid 40k 20 years ago was a fairly successful army for me. I did toy with putting in the Blood Crushers, I think they are, the old corn guys on the rhinos.
Oh yeah. I
don't know, because they would come under cavalry.
They would.
And And again, they're on Dreadnought-sized bases, I think,
They
if
are.
I'm correctly.
Yeah.
So whether or not they would need to be rebased, or they would have to be rebased on
You still get
cavalry.
them. They were like a metal model, weren't they? Those guys.
No, they did do them in plastic.
Did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were originally they were some that were metal, but they did do a load. I've got 9 of them, I think, in plastic kicking around that were that I might further utilize. But that's my list. It's not an overly complicated list. I just think it would look fun.
Yeah.
And it will, it'll look fun on the board. I can throw things. You've got to think about guys running at you from the front and guys teleporting around you through the tears in the in reality.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Did you not think about like using the Herald, because you can use him to kind of bunny hop units in?
yeah, I just because I wanted to use the Angron model.
Okay. Fair enough.
I Khan running alongside.
Yeah.
Yeah, feels more appropriate to me. So
Okay. Yeah. Maybe one day they'll do the rules for Demoned Up Angron.
yeah, that'd be nice. We'll get there eventually, I'm sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, that's me.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's not, I'm going to say it off the bat. It's not going to be hugely effective, but it might be fun to play with.
No, it would be fun.
Half the
Okay.
battle, isn't it?
Half the
battle
battle.
indeed. Okay, who wants to go next? Me or you, Mr. B?
Do you want to go, Graham?
All right then. Okay, so this is my dark mech, and I've also gone for allies, actually. So
Just bring you up.
there's also a theme there. Though I fear my allies being added is somewhat less thematic than yours. So trying to get Dark Mechanicum to work effectively is quite tricky. So here's what I've got. I've got an Archmagos Prime, but I've given them a jetpack. So they're not on an abeyant, they're in a jetpack. Because you can't take both, for obvious reasons. Quite a good stat line on this model, actually. So I've got giving it an augury scanner because it's Mechanicum and you can just give them everything. Cortex controller comes for free. Give them a Cyber Familiar, so that gives them a 3+ invuln. Because they get a 4+ for the Logicus thingamy. The jetpack is the same as the one that's on the Phalanx, which is where they're going to go, so they can move extra in the movement phase and also do that movement in the assault phase, which would be useful. So there's a reason for this. I need them to keep up. So what I've done is they've got rad grenades as well for reducing that toughness of other models. I've given them a Paragon Blade and a Power Fist. So it's basically got 2 weapons, should be able to deal with anything, although close combat's not their thing, but it also means you get +1 attack because the Power Fist and the Paragon Blade are both specialist weapons. And for shooting, I've just gone for a Volkite Serpenter. It's not there for long time shooting stuff. It gets the Battlesmith 4+ special rule, obviously deep strike. What I've given it is the Animata Malevolence Cyberthergic Right. So this, so it's basically, because it's a Dark Mechanicum list, it's all corrupted units. So it effectively can buff things with the corrupted unit subtype, which would be Decimators and Khitan, though I'm not 100% sure it can do it to the Khitan if you read the rules. So this cybernetic power, you can basically, any sort of corrupted engine type can be, you can get it to move number of inches up to its unmodified initiative, so it gets an extra 4-inch move if I go correctly. Improve its invulnerable save by 1, so giving it a 4+ rather than 5+. Add +1 to its weapon skills initiative and his initiative characteristic to the end of the firm. And if I make a cyberthergy check before doing this, I can do 2 things. So the idea is that him and his squad would be keeping up with the Decimators, and I'd be buffing them with this unit as I go. That would be the plan in an ideal world. But again, if needs be, I can mix it with the Paragon Blade, although I don't think it's ever going to be as effective as your average Praetor, it's still pretty useful stat line. Weapon skill 4, which is going to be a bit of a downside. Difficulty 5, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, initiative 4, 2 attacks. 3 attacks with the weapons, 4 on the check. So 2+ and a 3+ in bomb means it's quite survivable. But again, it's there to sort of fix things. The Battlesmith rule also means that I can fix up the automata, which is useful. So yeah, it'd be okay, I think. And then we've also got into HQ choices, 2 exactly the same. I've got 2 just Magos Dominuses. And then they've got the Animatus Integro Cyberthurgic Right, which means I can repair dreadnoughts and vehicles within 12 with a psychic power kind of thing. They don't need to be in base-to-base contact with them and the like. So that's cool. Fix things up from a distance. And I've given them Machinator arrays with the mouse gun and power axe. So there's a reason behind the madness for having 2 of these, and it will become apparent in a minute, because these are going to go with my troops choices, which is 2 identical squads of 20-man tech thralls in an armored conveyor. So obviously 2 armored conveyors with the 20-man tech thralls in, and a Magos Dominus with each one of them.
I've left some stuff there from something else. Sorry. On the troops, underneath the troops, it's got a bunch of stuff from something else I've just noticed there. Bugger.
All right, no worries. Yeah. So basically, the idea is that this is a big blob squad, and they're stubborn, but their leadership is terrible. They got a leadership of 6, right? So, but with the Archmagos Dominus joining that unit, they then become stubborn with a leadership of 9, which I think means that they could, in theory, tank a much better unit and kind of tar pit them a little bit. They're not fearless, unfortunately. They used to be, but it's something. So they're them. And then because I'm taking that particular Archmagos Prime with that particular Cyberthurgic sort of speciality, I can take a Decimator in the troops choice. So 1 Decimator, but just with the close combat weapons. They kind of have the same stat line as a Leviathan-ish, but their shooting weapons are nowhere near as good, I don't think. So yeah, I've just given them the Siege Claws, which are Brutal 3 AP2, which is totally fine. And they come with Furious Charge 2, which is great. Hammer of Wrath 2, also awesome. And they've got the one of the Malefic Rights, because you have to take them, which I think is the same, similar to your one, which is, I can't remember what Malevolent Artifice, rather, which is more like the Khorne Berserker version.
Yeah.
So pretty effective unit all round. And then my last troops choice is some Phalanx. I think there's 5 of these, and I was umming and ahhing about what to give them, because usually I might give them the Photon Thruster or the Phased Plasma Fusel, but those get hot and I always end up killing my own guys with that. So I decided to go for the safer option, which is just a multi-melter. The 1 multi-melter on there. The rest of them I've given them chain bayonets as well, so they can do something in close combat. But the idea is that they would go, the Archmagos Dominus would go with the Phalanx cohort, following the Decimators up the road. And again, in my heavy support choice, I've got another Decimator. So that's 2 Decimators charging forward, you sort of Chris style. And then I've got a Krios, 2 Krioses with the Pulsar Fusel, which I think is the best weapon they can give it. Ordnance 4, Strength 9, AP2 ping.
Nice.
Really, really useful. So yeah, a good shooting unit, great against Terminators as well. So that's that. And then I've gone for a defense line because I've got vehicles, and if you put them behind a defense line, I get a 5+ invuln, which is useful. And then finally, for the Mechanicum side of things, the classic by now Khitan Demon Engine to add some more dark Mechanicum business in there. So the idea is that this is like a dark Mechanicum Forge world, and they've been churning out these demon creatures for lols, and they're kind of worshipping this Khitan Demon Engine. So that would be going forward to try and draw fire, backed up by the Decimators, who are a bit slower. The Archmagos would be in tow, just buffing things where he can. The Thalax would go and jump. The Tech Thralls would go and jump on some objectives as quickly as possible in the armored conveyors, which again are very resilient. So that would be the mechanical side of things. And I've got an allies section, which is some Sons of Horus. So this would be like late heresy. So I've gone for a Centurion, so an Armistice with a las cannon. Useful model, 90 points, but it also has the Cognos Signum, which is very useful. And I did kind of try and find the rules for this, but yeah, they can join the infantry part of the artillery squad.
I suppose the one thing that I'm curious about in this terms of the list is why did he take the las cannon with the Armistice?
Because it's kind of, well, I've got the model basically.
Oh, right, fair enough.
It's at least it means that if somebody does charge that unit and I've got no reactions left, I can at least overwatch with it or return fire with one las cannon.
Yeah,
because he can return fire, the rest of the squad can't. But yeah, it's not hugely expensive and it's mastercrafted, and also he would be firing at similar targets potentially as the rapiers if I don't boost their ballistic skill.
Yeah,
which, being as the rapiers are twin linked, I might not every time. It might be better to have one extra las cannon shot as opposed to making their ballistic skill 2. So the idea is that he would go with the laser rapiers, which I've got 3, and like I say, boost their ballistic skill, but also give them night vision, so they're not affected by night fighting at all, because that's what Cognos Signums do. And also, if you've got a Cognos Signum, you can't then use the shroud rule against things that get shot at.
Yeah,
because they're too good at seeing you. So yeah, hopefully that would make that'll be my unit to try and deal with your the sort of land raiders, the Spartans of this world, the heavily armored armor 14 things. That would be the main unit that would have to deal with them, because I haven't really got a lot else that can do it. The decimators haven't got like armor bane or anything, and the Khitan struggles a bit against high armor. I mean, though he's strength 10, but you still need 4s or more to get a glancing hit on a Spartan, which he's struggled with in the past. So those would be the thing that I would use to do that. And then I've got a sort of troop tactical squad with a Nuncio Vox is the only upgrade there, because I've then got 2 Scorpiuses to sit on the back line and hopefully take out the other team's las cannon squad before it shoots everything up of mine. So yeah, that's the plan.
Nice.
But yeah, it's not hugely themey. I mean, the Dark Mechanicum stuff's quite themey, but I've had to sort of fill the gaps in the army in with the allies. Where it's kind of very weak. I could have used a Thanatar maybe, but again, for the points, the Scorpiuses win every time. Yeah. They're just super cheap and super useful. And if you just leave them where they are, hide them out of sight, I've got a Nuncio Vox on the tactical squad, which gives me another scoring unit as well. It does mean that they can rain some hell down upon the enemy.
Yeah.
With impunity. So yeah, so that's me. What about your good self, Mr. B?
Okay. My list is Solar Auxilia. I'm going for a tank list. Well, mostly tanks. Right. But we've got a Leman Russ command tank as my warlord, with Cognos Signum, Dozer Blade, Flare Shield, las cannon, and a multi-laser. You saw me paint that up earlier. And that is that's going to lead the army. I'm also taking, because you're still going to need someone to actually get objectives, so I still need some fleshy dudes. So I'm taking a tactical command tertio or terrico, whatever, with an augury scanner, cohorts Vexelia, so they become line, which is handy. A command Vox, the Auxilia Marshal upgrade, because it's basically the standard guy. He's just a captain. I'm giving him an upgrade. I think he gets the extra leadership. And then an Aurochs to transport them in. And they're never going to get out of that Aurochs, because the command Vox will work in the Aurochs, and that's all about sending out the morale. Yeah. If they have to get out though and claim an objectives, they're lying. Nice. Then I've gone for a Medicae section. So 3 Medicaes. Just it, 45 points, 1 per infantry Terrico that I'm going to put up, and 1 to go in the tactical command Terrico. So just to give that bit of that feel no pain. In my troops, we've got 3 standard Leman Russ Vanquishers, with just a heavy bolter in the front there, so they just Vanquisher cannon and coaxial autocannon. Nice and simple. 2 identical infantry tertios. So they're las rifle sections with bayonets, 20 men. No extra special weapons on the sergeant. The sergeant's just got a las rifle. I think a las rifle is far more handy than anything else that I can put on him, because I don't want him getting in combat.
No.
We've got a Vexelia and a Vox interlock, so they can actually receive signal from the command Vox. And because they are in the tank cohort rule, they have to take transport. So Drakazans. I've got 2 Drakazans, so they're going in those. So that's 2 tactical squadrons there. And the Drakazans just got the last cannon, no upgrades there, because if I do an upgrade, there can only be 10 men. And I think 20 men is far, far better than 10. Fast attack, we've got the Carnodons, strike squadrons. 3 of them, Volkite Culverins and Volkite Caliber Sponsons. So again, you saw them earlier. I finished painting them. Heavy support. I've got the models, you see. So I've gone with Atheon Heavy Sentinels. I added a third. I bought a third. And I thought, you know what? I've got them. I may as well use them. It's 275 points for 3 of them. I've given them Melter Lances.
Okay.
So a bit of Melter from them. I know it's not fantastic. They're only weapon skill 3, but if I've got the models. And then I've got 2 identical Malkador heavy tanks with Demolisher Cannon on the front, Dozer Blade, Flare Shield, Las Cannon Sponsons, a pintle-mounted multi-laser, and a Vanquisher Battle Cannon. And that's 2 identical one of those. And then finally, Fortification, because I still think this is one of the best things in the list. Earthshaker platforms, 2 of them with 10 auxiliary gunners.
Okay. Interesting choices.
Yeah, so
just a very quick note about the Cognoscignum on the command tank.
Yep.
Does the command tank join one of those other tank squads?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it can. Yeah, I think so. Maybe not.
Because you'll need it to if you want to use the Cognoscignum. Because it doesn't work like it used to, where you had to be within 6 and you could just get it on anything.
That up. I think it can join them.
You've got to basically join the unit and be part of the unit for the Cognoscignum to work. Just a heads up on that one. It's caught a few folks out in the past.
Yeah. I might have to check that one. I'll double check that one, but
yeah. Worth investigating for sure.
Definitely. But that's my list. So what are we thinking on terms of themes for how people have done? I've got to say, I really like Chris's theme. It's
I think Chris is quite very themey.
Really leaning into that whole blood for the blood god theme there.
You know, it's men running at things and taking stuff down. I think I like I like half of Graham's list.
I think that's funny.
I think the Sons of Horus there being there to sort of fill out the weaknesses in the first half of the list.
They totally are. 100%.
It kind of
that puts it in the bin in terms of theme, because they're there. But no, I mean, I could try and justify it as a Siege of Terror, list of things, and they're helping out with the Forged World, attacking Terror, but I would be kind of justifying including units for fluff that isn't really there.
Isn't really for fluff, yeah. So, it kind of gets half a point for me for the
okay, yeah,
on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
so I do like your element of your idea of having that.
I wouldn't win it. It wouldn't win any competitions for theme, to be fair. But I think Chris's for me.
I'd have to give Chris's
themiest of the 3.
Very, very good. All right then. What about effectiveness? I'm going to be honest. This is one where I don't think Chris's is going to be so effective.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'll get gunned down like snow tomorrow.
So I have to give my vote to Graham. But Graham's list is going to be very effective, because I think the Khitan, the Decimators, that's just 2 very good. Have we lost Graham?
No, he's currently dealing with a dog, I believe.
Dog,
yeah, that's correct.
2 very, 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 very good units. The Decimators are absolutely phenomenal.
They're not as good as Leviathans but they're similarly priced.
Yeah.
But they're still tough cookies, to be fair, but they're super slow. So just bear that in mind that you can't run them either. So they're going to have to kind of trudge up the board fairly slowly, which could be a problem because they're going to get, once the Kaitans, my distraction Kaitan gets shot to death, they're next on the list.
The distraction Kaitan.
Yeah. But no, I quite like that list. It's definitely it's a very interesting one.
It could deal with most things except heavy bolters, which will be its bane because you'll just rinse the Thalax with heavy bolter fire, and they'll die really quickly. It'd be interesting how the tech thralls do. That's probably the one unknown that I have because I know that the conveyor is a really good transport because it's hard to kill. It's got a flare shield on it, so it's quite tricky, and it's got that really cool ram to sort of smash into stuff. But whether 20 guys with leadership 9 will stop a normal 10-man assault squad, for example, would be interesting. I think not, because their save is absolutely terrible. So they're going to die a lot. But it's whether they can just hang around for 2 turns and stay on an objective, for example, and not die quite so horribly if possible. But yeah, there's quite a lot of shooting there. The Krios and the rapiers and those are the main shooting things really, to try and deal with stuff. But it can deal with stuff. It's got enough shooting there, I think.
Yeah.
And the Scorpions are there for dealing with 10-man las cannon squads.
Nice. Yeah, I think there's more. I think it has factually more about it than Mr. B's.
I don't know. There's a lot of vanquishers there, and they are tough cookies.
3 vanquishers with an extra 2 cannons on the
Malkadors. And the Malkadors as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
And they've all got vanquisher cannons, haven't they?
Yep, vanquisher cannons, demolisher cannon.
I guess it's whether you might be in a similar situation. It's whether your troops might be more survivable than mine because of the Vox interlock.
Yeah, they've got the better leadership. But I've
only
got
have
2
leadership.
Units. Well, that's 3, but
if my what's the leadership of the marshal in that? Is it 9 or 10? It's only 9, I think.
I think it's
so. 9, it might be the same leadership.
Marshal is 10, yeah.
Is it a I don't think is it because you've got it's the lead. It's the.
Let's see if I can find it.
HQ version. It's slightly worse than the normal solo auxiliary marshal.
Yeah, it's just the yeah. Let me just look it up. See what.
Because also my guys are stubborn, which I don't think yours would be, because the Vox interlock only gives them the leadership, not the special ability. So I might be slightly more survivable, but having said that, I don't think I've got a 6+ armor save. So
command, right? Okay, the marshal has leadership 9. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's he get with that upgrade?
Doesn't something give it +1 leadership? That doesn't the command box give him +1 leadership or something?
Or
am I just dreaming
that? Gives them what's the command box?
Oh, you've got it here.
Blah blah. Just this is the leadership.
It's a Vexella, sorry, command Vexella.
Command cohorts Vexella gives them line.
They consider the leadership 9.
Gives them leadership 9. Gives them makes them line.
Yeah, so that's what it does.
The marshal gets. What does the marshal? What does the captain? Look at the stat line. He's got weapon skill 5. So I'm literally paying those points for the extra weapon skill and 1 extra attack, which I'm not going to use. I could have saved those points and got something.
You probably could have done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The Lord Marshal is more points.
He is a fair.
He's a separate unit. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, I think Mr. B's is going to. I mean, yours is no slouch, Chris. I mean, you do. The problem is your heavy hitters are there's a workaround, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. They can be.
Look cool, though, I've got to be honest.
I mean, that's it. That's all that demon army is ever intention been.
Just fire up those chosen warriors with one of your chaff units, and then get the big guys going in and just waiting in hell.
I mean, it is a it's an Emperor's. It's a sort of a celestialist insofar as it wants to show off, but it's more a Khanist insofar as what it wants to do when it gets there. That's kind of how I'm.
Okay, so
considering them.
Chris wins on theme.
Yep.
What about effectiveness? Where's your vote going, Mr. B?
It's gonna go to you, Graham. Obviously, I can't vote for myself, obviously, but at the same time, I think that Chris's, whilst cool list, I don't think it's gonna.
Oh, it's nowhere near on the effectiveness. For me, squishy humans versus squishy robot people. With Space Marines, it's always going to be squishy robot people with Space Marines that are going to get that particular nod from me, if I'm honest with you.
Got you. All right. Cool. The Black Sands as well. I mean, I think Mr. B's will be tough to get through, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of armor there. But again, it's whether you suddenly start rocking up with a Terminator squad or something with chain fists and might make a bit of a mess of your day. But yeah, cool. And so what's the final? So fun to play, I think is, well, that's Christian, isn't it? He play every day of the week, I think.
Yeah. I think so. So then
I do my best.
Yes, so it's going to come down to cost, really, isn't it now?
Yes, it is. So my cost was I got it here, wrote it down. So now, just to be clear, we have some very clear rules in this competition, which is you have to be able to buy the models that we're using. And obviously quite a lot of this stuff has gone out of print.
Yeah,
because
some of this went out of print and came off the website as I was putting the list together. I was literally had the Earthshaker carriages essentially in the basket, and then when I went to go somewhere, it was like, whoa, they're gone. What's happened here? So it's a very annoying when you've got a lot of stuff, especially for Mechanicum and the Solar, that is just being pulled from the store.
Yeah,
it should have been. Okay, so what was yours? What's
mine altogether? So what I did was for the Krioses, because you can't buy them anymore, I've gone for 2 tanks from Moritan. And these are they look a bit like the sort of tank hunter Stugs from World War II. But I think they'd be okay as Krioses. They don't necessarily suit the aesthetic of the Mechanicum with all the cogs and stuff, but with a little bit of modeling, I'm sure you could do something with them. But they look cool, and they kind of one gun that's good enough to be the pulsar gun. You may require a little bit of jiggery pokery on and dare I say it, faff, but I could probably get it to work. So, but they're actually quite reasonably priced, if the truth be told. They are, and they look awesome. €43, which isn't bad considering a Krios was over £100.
Yeah.
Anyway, my total cost, everything else could be bought. There's a lot of models left over here, by the way. So, for example, there's 2 box sets that I'm going to use because that covers a lot of those models, including the armored conveyor and the tech thralls, the Thalax, for example. They all come there, but you're still left with a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, you can buy from the store. So, yeah, the laser destroyers, you'd have to do some work because you can't buy them either. So what I would have to do there is use I got a 10 or 20 man Mark III squad. I'd have to use some of those models to be the crew for the with some modeling.
Laser destroyer one.
Solar Auxilia.
It's just laser destroyer gone out of stock.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's not there anymore. So you can get the Solar Auxilia graviton gun, which I would probably start with that and then have to model it with a sort of las cannon on it, or las cannons because they're twin link las cannons, and then use. I've got a 10-man tactical squad, which would give me 10 additional guys, which I'd have to use for the crew, for the guns, and 1 for the armistice. So yeah, £1,069 is my total.
Gotcha.
What about you, Chris?
Mine comes in under that. Let me just find which one of my 58 currently open tabs.
The HQ choice is from. Actually, I bought this model.
Yes, I did list it. It was the third slide. So if you I'll pull your list up again. That one. from
Yeah.
Grimskull. Yeah.
Yeah, from Grimskull, or I think it's called something else. But yeah, from the Ukraine Hawk Racing. I bought the next thing. So yeah, wargameexclusive.com. They do a lot of cool models, actually.
So
They do a lot of naughty models, which are half naked as well.
There is that, of course. I've shied away from the scantily clad.
Oh, yeah.
I totally have. But yeah, there are quite a lot of those, unfortunately. Can't be helped. For some reason, people seem to weirdly, and maybe it's just me. I mean, who am I to judge somebody's kink? But Mechanicum seem to have a weird. People who like Mechanicum have a weird fixation with semi-naked Mechanicum ladies.
They do.
I don't know why, because like everything's, all tentacles and whatnot.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. But okay, cool. Okay, so Chris just adding his together.
No, mine's added up already. I had it on a different spreadsheet. So if Skarak and the old Forge World Bloodthirster aren't available anymore. They don't make them.
That was such a cool model.
They are super cool models. Glad I got them. But so the total cost for my army is £874.
No,
however, that does include £239.50 for Commander, because to simulate the cost of the Archdemon.
Right. Okay.
The other one can be replicated. The Skarak can be swapped out for a normal Bloodthirster at like £100 and things like that. So so it could be significant, another £100 or so cheaper than that.
Yeah,
and that includes £50 for heads for the World Eater specific heads, chain axes for the guys, things like that. So there is a fair amount of additional cost. £50 just under £50 for Khan at 46.50. So
wow, is that much in the zone?
He's £46. You can't get him currently, but he is £46.50 on his own.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a pricey model. Yeah. Okay, so you could, technically, and I think this is okay, right? Talk about third-party suppliers, but if you can't get the model anymore from Games Workshop, you don't have any choice but to go to a third party, right?
No,
you go into Etsy or somewhere like that to try and find these things,
or find someone.
They're inevitably cheaper, I think.
I've had to do that myself. Now, if I'd been able to buy everything from Games Workshop as it was, it should have been £1,265.51. But because I can't, and I've had to go to Etsy, I think we're sort of accepting Etsy as sort of like our secondary thing here.
I think if you can't get the model, and not just out of stock, but if it's actually delisted, it's perfectly okay to
delisted.
Go.
I bought an Earthshaker artillery model kit, which has, instead of costing me, it should have been for these £104, it's costing me £14.99. So that's considerable savings. It's like £170 of savings. And for my Carnodon, because that's been delisted as well, I've gone for a £36 Mortilda tank, which I shared with Graham earlier.
It looks exactly the same, or it looks very similar. Not exactly the same.
It's different, but yeah, it definitely take a little bit of modeling just to make sure that we get the, so it looks like it's Volkite. But yeah, that's £36. Is it £36? Oh no, it's a select. Oh no, you select you've got different things to select here. So yeah, £36 for this, just really.
So what's your total cost with all of the
with the total cost and the Etsy models, it comes to £928.49.
Wow. So still pricey, but Chris, clear winner.
It's a lot of plastic in my army.
Yeah, you can get all the plastics, can't you, for all the demons?
Yeah.
Now it's mixed too.
Yeah, the what's killing me in my one is the the Medicaid section. So I've got to get the one there. 67.
Oh yeah,
one for the Medicaid.
How much?
And the Aurochs is £71.50.
What? Wow, that really is
They
expensive.
are crazy expensive, some of them, yeah.
Malfadors are 57, but I mean, that's much better than it was.
Plastic. Yeah. I
plastic.
mean, they used to be over 120, 130 pounds. Wow. So anyway, Chris wins the prize and the fun to play.
And fun to play.
And
Yeah.
so he takes this round.
Yeah.
So next year's
Good
army
heavens.
winner is Chris. Well played, sir. Good.
Yay. Well done. Okay.
Let's see if it actually happens. That's going to be the fun thing.
Yeah.
Fill it out on the form. Are you going to fill it out then? So I've lost the form. Where have I lost?
I've got my hands full of stats.
There it is. Okay, so Chris won the theme.
No,
Graham won.
We don't have theme as a separate thing, do we? Or do we?
Oh,
Can't
I've got it
remember.
here as theme, effective, and cost.
Oh,
So
cool.
Graham
Great.
won the fee, the effective, and Chris won the cost.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Fun to.
And Graham was
Army theme, effective, cost. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
and I was solo. I didn't win a single one there. Okay, cool.
Interesting, not single Legion of Astartes, apart from allies.
Yeah, it was interesting. Okay, shall we head into and close the show then?
Let's do just that.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just hit the button for that. Okay, brilliant. Right, so who's closing this? Graham, you're closing down the show tonight.
Okay, right. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the first of year 9, or the first episode of year 9 of the podcast, going strong as ever. If you enjoyed the show and its content, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think of some of the things we've talked about tonight? It'd be great to get your feedback. But you can also leave us a review of the show, which we greatly appreciate, on the likes of iTunes. You can follow us on Facebook, not on X anymore, I believe. We're on Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yes.
You can find all the links to all of those in our show notes, which is www.edgeofempire.co.uk, I want to say. Was it .com? Anyway, one of those two. Search for Edge of Empire in any reliable search engine and it will take you to our lovely website. Please also give us, if you are on Facebook or YouTube in particular, subscribe and give us a like. It'd be great to get some of those on there. And obviously, we'd love to know what people think of the show. And so giving us a little like lets us know that you're enjoying our content and what we're doing, and also helps us to fund our future trips to Las Vegas. So please use that. If you do want to get in contact with us directly, you've got any questions, and as we saw in this episode, we're really happy to hear from you, and we'll read your questions out and try our best to answer them. You can post on our Facebook wall or send us a message, a direct message on the account there, or you can email us at info@edgeofempire.co.uk. So that was the website. And we will definitely read them out because we love to hear from you. If you want to help the show, though, directly, we've got an affiliate link with Audible. So you can sign up and get your Horus Heresy audiobooks, which all are there, with a month's free trial. And after that, it's $7.99 for a book a month. And like I said, there's all the Black Library books are there. You can also, rather than go to the middleman and we get a little off the top, you can fund us directly via our Patreon. And you can put a couple of dollars in there for us, which again keeps the lights burning on the the bastion that is Edge of Empire Towers. We would greatly receive that. Or you can even buy us a Ko-fi, which is, if you think about the cost of a Starbucks coffee, and give it to us instead because you've enjoyed 3 hours of wonderful content.
Why not?
You can also help us out by going through the advert on our website to purchase all your wargaming needs through the most excellent Element games. So we have Element crystal codes, which I always forget, which means that if you put these values in, you get double crystals, you lucky person, and we get the normal crystals. So yay, more stuff for us. So we'll put these in the show notes, but Chris's is CHR211. Mine is GRA2794, and Mr. B's is MIC 440, page not found. We also have affiliate links with the Outpost, which is another great friendly little games shop in Sheffield. And also recommend Different Not Less model shop in Newcastle.
Mm-hmm. Just ordered my Krieg from there.
Yeah, another friendly local gaming shop that would be great to support. And we're really pleased that we've got these independent vendors that keep things going.
Yep.
So in our next episode, though, what on earth we're going to do? It's completely blank. We have a blank sheet.
Yeah, we don't have a plan. Yeah,
carte blanche for next time.
One of the next things to do is
maybe an army focus.
Yeah,
who knows?
I suppose
Tune in
sort
to
of next
find
on the list for army focus is the White Scars.
Well, there we go. Maybe we're doing White Scars. Maybe that will be the next thing that we dip our toe into, which would be quite interesting. So
which puppy is that?
Next month or whenever we get this out, and we will definitely be doing something of interest. I am quite sure.
So which puppy is that you've got there, Graham?
This is Enzo.
So
yes, the eldest puppy is another good reason to go to YouTube so you can see my dog having a little sleepsy. Yeah, very cute. Well, I've sort of fallen off my chair, unfortunately. So anyway, there we go. So yes, but anyway, next month we'll see what we do. Maybe White Scars, might be something else. There might be some cool new rumors for us to speculate wildly on. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So without further ado, thank you very much for joining us. As always, it's really great that you've tuned in. And like I said, if you do like what we're doing, just let us know. Give us a like. Definitely check out the YouTube if you haven't already. You better see some wonderful new graphics that we've put together to make the show even more engaging. And you better see what we're actually talking about for once, which is amazing.
It is.
So have fun and have a great month, and we shall speak to you all soon. Good night, or good day, or morning.
Take care, everybody. Love and snuggles.
Bye.
Bye.